Filet with lettuce, cheese, and tartar sauce tucked inside a bun. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
I'm Dr. Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN asks dentists to volunteer to see just one patient per year who might not have access to proper oral health care. Join me in making a difference.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more.
Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity in your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Corey and Jack called Loan Pronto. In a matter of days, they had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact and didn't even need an appraisal. With all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You could do it too. LoanPronto.com. Their rapid equity loan program can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it. Consolidated all their high interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine, pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier, get your life back. Interest rates are at a 3-year low. Call Loan Pronto, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Comfortable out there this afternoon. 78 for our high temperature under partly cloudy skies. Overnight, mid-50s. Some patchy fog by tomorrow morning. But tomorrow looks nice and warm. We'll see highs in the mid-80s, likely to set a new record high. A small chance of a shower.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 385 points to 47,116. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
Dancing, steps back, and hits! A 3 for Isaiah Evans! A race and a punch! Tom Mason, take that! 4-on-2 to the rack, scoop it up. No, Brown can't clean it up. A third try to kick out for Harris, who saved it on the baseline to Evans. It's a hot potato. Isaiah spins, steps through, scoop it up. No, and the rebound back to Evans for a punch.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. On a very, very busy Monday. A very, very busy weekend, I guess might be the way to describe it. There was hockey, there was college basketball, there's a whole mess of NFL news, including the Panthers, I believe, unless something's happened in the last couple of minutes, agreeing to the largest contract thus far in NFL free agency. There is a boatload of things to do. So, I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show, and it is now time for the first time that it's been brought to you by Mainer Service Company, service you can trust. We hit the 3 hottest stories of the day in the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
We'll start with Duke beating Carolina, and we'll get to some of the other basketball results. That's all mixed in here to number 1. But I did fail to say before the Big 3 at 3, we will have a Monday Soundoff coming up at 4:15. 4:15, a little over an hour from now, we'll open up the phone lines. You can talk about college basketball. You can talk about Duke beating Carolina. You can talk about State losing to Stanford. You can talk about the ACC tournament coming up, NFL free agency, Canes over the weekend. We want to hear from you. That's all at 4:15. As we said, one is the college basketball results. Duke beat Carolina 76-61. It looked like it was going to be a game. Carolina, what's the saying? Smoke them if you got them, like empty the tank. They did so right up until about 15 minutes left in the game. The score, 47 for Duke. They were leading, but it was 47-44. You blinked, and it was 10 minutes of game time later, and the score was 71 for Duke, 46 for Carolina.
Yeah, they took it away in the second half. They ran with it.
Right there, and then obviously it fluctuated a bit from there, up to the 20s, back down to whatever it finished at, but the game was over for all intents and purposes. Duke looked every bit like the number one overall seed in the country. Cameron Boozer looked every bit like the guy that is going to have to build up the frequent flyer miles going around and collecting trophies when this season is over. He's going to win a whole bunch of them. I give Carolina a lot of credit for how they started, and obviously without Caleb Wilson, they had to find a way, and they were at times finding a way. But in the end, it was just too much relentlessness from the Duke onslaught that ended up being the difference. Now, if you want to take it one step further, Duke might have been the winner, but actually lost the more important battle, which would be the battle with attrition. Patrick Gungba, by the end of the day, both Gungba and Foster were in boots. And not like cowboy boots. They were in the type of walking boots that happen after you injure your ankle or your foot. And that is brutal. Now, Duke can still be really, really, really good, but those two guys are important. Right? The Big Pat, as they call him, is a cornerstone of their production down low. Cam Boozer gets all the highlights, but Gungba has a ton of responsibility on his shoulders, both defensively and offensively. And then Caleb Foster being the vet, right? He's the guy that's been there the longest for that team. He's knocked down some really, really important threes this year and brings a certain amount of energy defensively. So if those guys are unavailable at the ACC tournament or beyond, that is a storyline to watch. That is 100% a storyline to watch. And then State lost to Stanford 85-84. It continues with the results that State has been putting on tape the last 7 games, losing 6 of their last 7. I mean, if they play a ranked team, they get blown out. If they play a non-ranked team, they get heartbroken at the buzzer. That's what the last 7 games have been, aside from the Carolina game, which obviously Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar didn't play, but they did look as good as they've looked in a long time, meaning State did. That Stanford loss now puts them officially on bubble watch. Obviously, the easiest thing to do is win a couple games at the ACC tournament and punch that ticket, but your narratives are going to hurt you. If it comes down to close metrics against some other bubble team, they're going to look at how you finish the season, and they're not going to want to reward that.
They're lucky a lot of the other bubble teams all lost.
True. It was great point. It was carnage on the bubble.
Yeah.
But I assume some of those bubble teams will win some games in their conference tournaments, and then we'll see where it goes from there. A lot of one big leagues also got upset, but I think they'll stay one bid leagues. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Canes over the weekend, a little back-to-back. They beat Edmonton late night 6-3, although it was closer than that. They tacked on a couple very late. And then Canes lost to Calgary 5-4 in what almost was a gutsy comeback against a team they shouldn't have needed to come back against. There's just been an element of unpredictability with the Canes since the Olympics break, where we're so used to the Canes being I call them metronomic, right? They are just like so consistent. They play a certain way every time. They just have been a little bit out of character as far as, whoa, all of a sudden they've given up 3 straight goals very quickly. Whoa, what's going on here? And I think they will settle over time, especially getting back into a rhythm. You hope the Brandon Bussey gets a little settled, especially with the way he handles the puck and the way he plays the puck. But there's, a loss to Calgary is bad, but it was also game 4 of a road trip all out there on the West Coast, mostly the west side of Canada. 3 games in 4 days. There was a lot of tired. I'm not making excuses, but I'm making excuses. There's I don't think anything to panic about, although after a quiet deadline, panic feels like it's right around the corner for the Canes fan base. Right? Every time something doesn't go perfectly, that's why you needed to go get so-and-so. That's why you needed to overspend. You got the money in the picks. And it's like, well, they easily could have lost that game with some shiny new object as well. It's I don't think talent was the issue when it came to beating Calgary. I think it was sloppiness, tiredness, and a few other things. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
NFL free agency, just the tampering period, opened up today at noon, and deals can be agreed upon. They can't be signed, but they can be agreed upon. How about this one? 4 years, $120 million, $80 million guaranteed for Jaelen Phillips, edge rusher most recently of the Philadelphia Eagles, although I bet most of you remember him most often from his time with the Miami Dolphins. Dan Morgan. That's a you drop your money on the table kind of move. It was within the first hour of the free agency period opening. It had been agreed upon. Albert Breer tweeted out that Dan Morgan and the Carolina Panthers thought Jaelen Phillips was not only the top edge rusher in this free agency class, but the top overall player in this free agency class. If that's what you have as your board, you go make this deal every single time. If you think he is that good and he is at a position of need for your franchise, which we've been saying, I'm not the only one. Priority number 1, edge rusher. Priority number 2, probably still edge rushing. Priority number 3, all right, some more edge rushing. Then you can get to some other things with the Carolina Panthers. So you have a position of dire need. You have a player that you have ranked super high, and he's available in free agency. You go spend the money. You go spend the money. The way I've been saying it is I absolutely love the idea of Jaelen Phillips. The one thing that I'm concerned about, right? The one thing that I am a hint concerned about is his durability. He has not played a ton of games. He has not played a ton of snaps. And this goes back to his college days where he's dealt with some serious injuries. So if you get the top version of him, his physical profile is bananas. He's been known as like a workout demon, right? Somebody that if you let him, run and time and jump and do all those sorts of things, he's unreal. He's been known that since high school. You just want to make sure that he is around, and you want to make sure that he's available. But if he is, I think the stats that he has put up thus far, still hunting for that first 10-sack season, a few things that he's left on the table, I think those will be afterthoughts by the time this contract is done. It's a big if, but if you get through it, I think he will be a massive addition. And then the trickle-down effect, right? Jaelen Phillips is your number 1. Which means Nick Scorton can be on the other side, not getting double-teamed, not getting chipped by running backs, not getting tight ends putting an extra paw on him. And that opens him up a little bit. And that opens Derek Brown in the middle up a little bit, because if you double-team Derek Brown, that means it's a whole thing, right? The hip bone's connected to the thigh bone's connected to the knee bone. Jaelen Phillips, if he's active, meaning healthy, and he's playing like his ceiling would say, they just got a significant amount better on defense today.
You just look at the guys on defense with their hand in the dirt. You've drafted 2nd and 3rd round picks last year with Scorton and Newman Mielen. You signed Pat Jones last year. You also signed now Jaelen Phillips. That's all on the edge. You also gave a big contract to Derek Brown. You signed Tershawn Wharton. You also signed Bobby Brown III. You put a lot of money into that defensive front. A lot of money. You better see the fruits of that. You
Absolutely.
better see the production from it, because you put a ton of major assets into that unit.
Do you know what you're going to be frustrated by?
What's that?
I actually think Phillips can cover. I think he can.
He
can, and it's not an awful way to use him if he comes from a Vic Fangio defense most recently, in which he played pretty well in for the Philadelphia Eagles. Some really, really good advanced metrics there.
He's also with Fangio in Miami early in his career, too.
True. And I've talked with some people that have both played under teams where Fangio was the defensive coordinator and elsewhere just over the years that played against Fangio. And the thing that he is most kind of known for by players is simulated pressures, where you might only bring 4, but it feels like you're bringing 6 because the threats at the line and where you're sending your cover or your protections and everything else. So if you can use Phillips as one of those chess pieces that makes it so you can drop 7, but it feels like you're blitzing 6, which is, I think, what Evero is trying to do. He's not high at all in any of the blitz percentages, but I think that's because he's trying to simulate it. If you can use Phillips to do that, could unlock some things in Evero's defense. A lot of could, a lot of maybes, but that's what free agency and the draft's about, right? Sure things would have had to prove it last year, and that's impossible with new additions. Last point I'll make, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. $80 million guaranteed, right? You better be right. And that goes for anyone spending that kind of money. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Big 3 at 3, brought to you by Maynard Service Company. Service you can trust, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. It's all service you can trust, Maynard Service Company. When we come back, Duke beat Carolina over the weekend. What does it say about those two teams as we start up the ACC tournament this week? Stick around.
Hi, Greg Talbot with Strategic Tax Resolution. Tax enforcement and defense strategies have changed a lot over the last year. After nearly 5 years, the IRS has restarted automated collections. You could be next for bank levies and wage garnishments. Ignoring the issue is not an option. Call 984-272-2600 to get protected. Do you have unfiled returns or tax debt? We work directly with the IRS and states so you don't have to. Let us use our proven strategies and experience with the IRS and state to resolve your tax issue. Qualified clients have cut their tax debt by more than 90%. How would that feel? Act now to learn the latest updates to tax relief programs. Your eligibility may not be the same. Strategic Tax Resolution. Local, trusted, A+ rated by the BBB. Call 984-272-2600. Ask for me, Greg Talbot. 984-272-2600. You've got a guy on your side. StrategicTaxResolution.com. Get relief.
I'm Neil, founder of Clay Room. When I found ceramics, I realized my calling was to give others the space to be creative. So I set out to open my own studio. Having a Chase Ink card has allowed us to grow it and bring people together. Now we're molding a creative community.
With the Chase Ink Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products, so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Caden, top of the key, back for Cameron. Sets the feet and hits a three. Just when you needed him, he steps up. He's got 15. The lead back to 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to the college basketball over the weekend, a little bit further into the Carolina at Duke game. Not a ton of else going on for the Panthers. We talked, obviously, right there all about the Jaelen Phillips contract agreement. Some stuff on the fringes, right? Caleb Evans coming back. Cade Mays not coming back. He signs or agreed with Detroit. A few things. Tremaine Edmonds, off-ball backer that some believed would have fit with Carolina, not going to come to Carolina. He's signing with the Giants. So there's, again, things on the fringes, but we will be sure to stop our conversations and let you know if there's anything gigantic that happens that impacts the Carolina Panthers. Something in the division, right? Mike Evans agreeing with the Niners. I think there's going to be a lot of Panthers fans that are like, we don't have to stop that guy anymore. All right. Now we can, when people make compliments of Tedero McMillan reminding them of Mike Evans, we don't have to pretend like that's an insult because he's not on the Bucs anymore. And say, yeah, he's a good player for the Niners. You can now compliment him openly without worrying about complimenting a division rival. So again, there's stuff happening. It's a very busy free agency tampering period opening day. and we'll do our best to keep you updated on it. But we can't just breeze through Carolina going to Cameron Indoor and having one of the best rivalry games that exist take place over the weekend. Duke 76-61 the win for Carolina. If you have thoughts on this game or free agency, we'll be opening up the phone lines 4:15. 4:15 is about an hour from now. We'll have a Monday sound off. You can call in. We'll give you the number and everything and tell you when the lines open up later in the show. But set your alarm. Be here at 4:15. Duke beat Carolina. And this was, it felt to me, it was personal for Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer in one year, and his regular season just ended. Matter of fact, Caden Boozer, after the game, was already talking about, this is the last regular season game I'll probably ever play with my brother. Like, they're already –
yeah.
Anybody that's ever moved, you do that kind of stuff where it's like, I don't know, you go to Home Depot and you're like, this is probably the last time I'm ever going to go to this Home Depot. Right, you pick your kid up from a park. This is probably the last time I'm pick him up from this park. You just can't help it, right? Duke's already started that with the Boozers. This is the last time we're going to play against this team. Maybe not. My point is, Cam Boozer has made every statement he could make during that regular season, except he had not beaten Carolina, and he played Carolina, and he had a chance to seal it away at the end, and he didn't make the shot, and he wanted this one. And early on, they were double-teaming everything. He was passing it out, and he was filling up the stat sheet. Second half, he was able to start getting to the free throw line, doing the things he normally does, finished with a massive game, and now he has that last thing checked for the regular season. Now, looking for Duke towards the postseason, we already talked about it, right? The injuries to Gungba and Caleb Foster might decide their ceiling. But at the same time, this is Duke, right? They don't replace 4 stars with 2 stars. They replace 5 stars with 5 stars. Like Caden Boozer coming off the bench to kind of run the show. That's not a huge downgrade. From Carolina's standpoint, I actually think, Carolina fans will never admit this because it was a 15-point loss to Duke, right? They're probably already hitting the well actuallys of Caleb Wilson, if he would have played, or if this would have happened, or if the refs would have done this and everything else. I think they showed a higher, again, to use the word ceiling, a higher ceiling than I thought they had without Caleb Wilson. That first half showed me they can run with anybody. Now, they're going to have to, obviously be able to extend that over a full game, but there aren't many teams that will just keep grinding you and keep punching you and keep hitting you and keep grinding you the way that Duke does. Right? The first half they put up might be enough against some teams outside of the top, 10 in the country. And if you're good against everyone aside from the top 10, that has a huge opportunity for you to make some noise in the postseason. Especially if they can find a way, and I'm broken record on this one, find a way to get efficient scoring out of their backcourt. I thought it was a kind of all-for-one rather than one-for-all performance from UNC, particularly when it comes to their starting 5. Everybody was tossing some things in there, but nobody was really being the superstar. I think they will get a superstar performance here or there from Vasar, a superstar performance here or there from Seth Trimble. And we saw it not too long ago. Bogovac can hit like a 5 or 6 3-point game. If those things happen in the right games, UNC has a chance.
I think you hit the nail on the head, though, is that you are hoping that one of your guys is going to go off. Where's the consistency coming from? That's the big question for Hubert Davis to figure out. Where's the consistency going to come from? Game in and game out, because now it's one and done.
I think against most teams, how they played against Duke will set them up for a chance to win. A chance. They will have to get, I don't want to say lucky, but they will have to get a bit fortunate timing-wise that if they play one of the true studly teams out there, and there's a good amount of them, that on one of those days, Henry Vasar wakes up feeling dangerous, or Seth Trimble wakes up and is feeling like he can shoot the rock, right? Like, they may have to get a little fortuitous there, but everybody has to get lucky to make a true run outside of the all-time great teams. That first half, I was looking around going, they're They don't look out of place here, and they don't have their best player, and they're playing against, statistically, the best team in the country, and they don't look out of place. Again, until about 15 minutes left in the game, and then Duke reminded them that they are the best team in the country, and they ran away with it. And no disrespect to Duke, right? Like give them all credit. They had a lot to do with that, but I also think with the bench not really contributing much of anything for UNC, they ran out of gas a little bit. They were depending on their dudes a bunch, and like I said, they ran out of gas a little bit. That happens, especially when you're in Cameron Indoor as a member of UNC. I imagine you're sitting on the bench and your heart's like that's a different type of adrenaline that, you know, by the end of warm-ups you feel like you just like hiked Kilimanjaro. You're just exhausted because that's the rivalry and it's the environment, and that's what happens. There's no shame in that, especially when they came out and played as well as they did in the first half. But goodness, that 10-minute stretch of game where Carolina scored 2 points and Duke made a billion free throws and shots, that looked like a team that was trying to make a statement that they're the number one overall team in the country, and I think most would agree with that as of now. Here's their coach, John Shire, who also broke some records on the defensive mindset that was different for Duke against Carolina this time rather than Carolina last time.
I take full responsibility for our defense last game, not our guys. I did not like what I asked them to do. We were way too conservative. We were way too soft on the ball, way too soft in our ball screen coverage. And I thought, again, a ton of respect for Carolina. They have, even without Wilson, they've been really good and have won. But we want to play Duke defense tonight. And I think we've done a good job of not adjusting to opponents. We've more just imposed our will with how we wanted to play. And again, you're going to give up some things. That's part of it. And they, Dixon hit some threes. They had some baskets inside in the first half. But I thought in the second half we limited them scoring in the paint, and I thought we were more disruptive, which is who we are.
Let's hear from the other side, shall we? Hubert Davis on what went wrong against Duke and Cameron.
Well, it was them. At the beginning of the game, I was clear and definitive on things that we have to do better compared to the first time that we played them. And, one of them, and the number one on the list was rebounding. And so, they got 18 offensive rebounds. That's just not sustainable. And we needed to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. And, our 14 turnovers turned into 24 points to him. So we were outscored by 20 in terms of points off of turnovers. And so that's how you get on runs, and that's how people get runs on you, is giving them second chances to score and not being taking care of the basketball on the offensive end. And during that stretch, we had a combination of both, and that allowed them to get on a run in the second half.
There was, and the announcers did a good job of this if you were watching the game at home, explaining some of the UNC turnover numbers, but then going even a step further and taking out the ones that were either out of bounds or like offensive fouls or walks or whatever, because there were an exorbitant amount of turnovers that led to Duke possessions immediately, right? It's not like you got to go down and set up your defense. Fast breaks, transitions, get everybody scrambling, and that's where Duke's defense was able to transition into offense very, very quickly. And I maybe I just miss it because I'm always trying to take notes and everything. I can't remember the last time a Duke guy slapped the floor. Yet Dame Sarr was out there slapping the floor, and then John Shire joined him.
Yeah.
Like John Shire's the one from that era that they did that, and he was like the only one that instinctively was like, oh, we're slapping, all right, here we go. Everybody else was just like getting hyped off Dame Sarr. But it did feel like one of those old school runs where the defense keeps leading to offense in a big rivalry game, and it ended up being a win for Duke.
It's amazing to see this Duke team. As much as we talk about the skill and talent, how Cam Boozer and those guys can score, how well Isaiah Evans can shoot. Defensively, that team is gritty. That team will physically beat you up. Just seeing it in person, sitting there watching the game, I'm like, my goodness, they're not afraid to scrap. Like it's like a team that's like I'll use a hockey analogy here. It's a team that isn't afraid to be heavy on a forecheck, but that can also score. Like to 100% what they are. That's what I think. That's what makes them different than so many of these other teams that they're probably going to face in the tournament. I don't think teams are going to be able to handle their physicality on defense. I just don't. Not over a consistent basis. I mean, gosh, look what they did against Michigan on a neutral court. I mean, they have the makings of winning a national championship. The way they play defense, 100%.
There's everything you said is correct, aside from they are now, depending on the injuries, one person less in their rotation on the perimeter, one person less in their rotation on down low, which does make their kind of like relentless pressure thing a little bit less possible, right? Because you're more susceptible to exhaustion, foul trouble, whatever, and that's with Foster and Gungba out. If they come back, one of them comes back, that changes the math. But if we assume they're both not playing in the ACC tournament, which is kind of what Shire insinuated after the game, that does change a little bit of that kind of they're just going to keep coming in waves defensively and turning it to offense quickly kind of reputation. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. That's actually something you should know about Miller Lending is unlike many other lenders out there that might offer no closing costs or certain offers when rates are super low, Miller Lending offers it all the time, right? It's not like, oh, well, yeah, we were good, but then someone got hurt. We were good, and then the injuries piled up. Or we were good, we were offering that, but now rates are a little high, so we can't. Miller Lending's no-cost loan, their no-closing-cost loan, they've been offering it for decades consecutively. Up, down, rates high, rates low, whatever it is, it's always there, which is why you can bank on it to be there if and when you want to refi, right? You lock in your rate now. If rates drop in 6 months, no closing cost loan refi. If it drops again in 6 months after that, do it again and again and again and again. Miller Lending wants to be there for a relationship, not just a one-time thing. They want to check up with you. They want you calling back when rates drop. They want to make it so you can continue to benefit from your relationship with Miller Lending. So give them a call, 919-447-3377, 919-447-3377, or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's Dean's List time and any updates we need to give you from an NFL free agency. Stick around.
It's bow time.
Finally, lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
With the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries?
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can. It's bow time.
There's bow time, and then there's Bojangler time. You heard right. The Bojangler fish fillet sandwich is back for limited time at participating Bojangles. A light, flaky, perfectly seasoned fish fillet with lettuce, cheese, and tartar sauce tucked inside a bun. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
Global Golf, Carolina's home to the largest selection of pre-owned golf gear, is having a 2-day sidewalk sale this Friday and Saturday only with huge deals. Drivers starting at $50, apparel starting at $25, shoes starting at $40, and golf bags starting at $50. Only at the Global Golf Outlet Store, located on 7320 ACC Boulevard, North Raleigh. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf.
If you're exhausted, not just tired, but worn down, this message is for you. I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Across North Carolina, many people wait months, sometimes over a year, just to start sleep care. That wait isn't normal, and it isn't necessary. At Parkway, most patients are seen within weeks, with virtual consultations and home sleep studies that remove unnecessary delays. Sleep care shouldn't have to depend on how long you're willing to wait.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It trickles out to Lubin now. Pack may have found the answer. It's Terrence Arsenault. Passes left corner, Abel. He hoists and hits. Left corner ties the game.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Today is the first day of NFL free agency tampering. So throughout the show, there's a lot of things that I want to pass along that I don't think are like full conversations. They're just kind of fun facts. So I'm just going to drop them in randomly. We have the Dean's List coming up here in a second. We have winners and losers later this hour. We have the Monday Soundoff at 4:15, where you can voice your opinions on Canes hockey, college basketball, Panthers free agency, everything else. But here's a little fun fact for you. The highest paid running back by contract total value just joined the Panthers division. Travis Etienne reportedly getting 4 years, $52 million from the Saints, agreed upon.
Dang.
And the highest paid running back by total value, I don't know guarantees on this one. I don't think it's been revealed. And it's not average annual value near the top either. But $52 million would be the biggest running back contract in the NFL right now, just a little bit ahead of Josh Jacobs, who has a $48 million deal.
Good on ETN.
So ETN in the division with the Panthers now for the Saints. We'll see what that means for Alvin Kamara. If Mike Evans is off Tampa Bay and Alvin Kamara is no longer with the Saints or no longer running back one for the Saints, Panthers are going to have like a where is everybody moment when they go play divisional teams.
Demario Davis, the linebacker, no longer with the Saints.
True.
Another win
for
the Panthers.
To get him as far away as possible.
Tua apparently might sign with the Falcons. Another win for the Panthers.
They just like lefties there, I guess. Penix, Tua, they only have left-handed footballs. Don't have any right-handed. Don't want to go buy any. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll just sprinkle in those little fun facts throughout the show. But right now, we need to, here on The Drive, get to the Dean's List. Ah, yes, the Dean's List. Also, this was a record-breaking that I meant to put in during the Duke Carolina conversation, but I didn't get to it, so we'll do it now. John Shire, with the win over Carolina, is now the all-time most winningest college basketball coach through his first 4 seasons as a head coach.
Really?
118 wins through 4 years, and counting, by the way, which is breaking a tie with Brad Stevens from Butler. And I would add this. It's probably a little bit like people are going to say, Duke, you just stepped into it and was a machine. And sure, there's some of that. But it used to be if you had like a good recruiting class, you could win for like 3+ years off of just that recruiting class. He's done it 4 years with 4 completely different teams, 4 different best players, 4 different everything. So there's a little added value, a little added difficulty there.
And you got to think this year's team has 11 ranked wins or something like that?
Yes, which is the most in a long time.
Schedule.
Yeah, most in the country. And I think it's tied for the most like in the AP poll era, but don't quote me on that. More Dean's List. Queens University.
Yeah, I was about to say the Royals.
And also North Carolina being the mecca of college basketball. So Queens is headed to the NCAA tournament, the big dance, for the first time in school history, program history, after they won the ASUN championship. So they're there. Way to go. Yahoo. They are the 18th Division I program from the state of North Carolina to appear in the NCAA tournament.
18th?
18th. Elon
This is just Division One.
Elon is the only Division One team to have not made the big dance before. But aren't they like?
Well, that's the thing. Like, their schools are partnering up, so we can say Elon did.
There you go. Then
Look at that.
Then they've all done it. Then every Division One team has now done it. If you count Elon getting like the +1 of Queens.
The Elon Queens University Royal Phoenix.
There we go. I don't hate it. But still, 18?
It's impressive.
That's absurd. That's absurd for like Texas or California.
Yeah.
Like for a state our size, that's unbelievable.
We do basketball right here.
Darn right. Speaking of, Campbell, men's basketball on the Dean's List.
Yeah.
Now this one is at the hands, this little North Carolina friendly fire. They upset UNCW. That is, in the CAA world, earth-shattering. UNCW was seen as a team that I think many were going to take as a Cinderella on their bracket as long as they won the CAA tournament. But now it looks like there's going to be somebody else representing the CAA in the dance.
Shout out Coach Anderchek down there, Bowie's Creek.
I mean, what is it, like 11 months since he was a national champion assistant coach with Florida?
Yeah.
He's pulling off that kind of upset with Campbell. Maybe all those bye games where they got paid a lot, but played ridiculously tough competition in their non-conference, coming back to him.
So, yeah, they had their semifinal game tonight.
I believe it's 6 o'clock. They're playing semifinals. So they eliminated the number 1 seed in the quarters. That's a bit like
take that.
Bit Miracle on Ice-ish, where it's like you got the big upset, and now you better go win these next ones, or else you can still walk away here with not a gold medal. That's kind of crazy. Do you have some Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out here?
I do. I have one I want to throw. There were a couple, actually. Duke women's basketball, ACC champions, ACC tournament champions after being regular season champions. Also want to throw a name out there by the name of Chance Gladden. Chance Gladden, Boston University men's basketball. Why do I mention that name? In the Patriot League semis, hits a three-pointer at the buzzer to beat Navy. You know where he's from?
I don't.
Raleigh.
Hey,
Ravenscroft High School.
There you go.
Look at that. The freshman. Big time. In the Patriot League. Now Boston University's in the Patriot League finals, which is on Wednesday.
I know that a lot of people think there's a little sketchiness going on with the clock on that buzzer beater.
Yeah.
Perhaps it did not start on the inbound.
Well.
And but don't blame the player. They didn't know.
Exactly. No, they don't control the clock.
And by the way, if you go back and change, they're like, oh, it took him longer than the time he had. I'm sure as he dribbled, he had view of a clock, and he would have shot it earlier if he knew that there was less time. So give him all the credit in the world.
So there's that. So, yeah, there you go. Chance Gladden from Raleigh.
Last one for you. NC State football 2015 offensive line.
Go on.
Garrett Bradbury traded to the Bears. Center was on 2015 NC State offensive line, where he will be reunited with Joe Tooney, who was a guard on that 2015 NC State offensive line. They were roommates for road games, and now over a decade later, they're going to end up playing with each other in the NFL alongside each other for one of the more up-and-coming teams. Like, people are excited about what that offense can be in Chicago. Bradbury and Tooney next to each other. They used to room together on road games. They'd be, at some random hotel in Boston getting ready to play Boston College. Now they're going to be doing the same thing. Probably not in the same room, but getting ready to play, the Packers in Green Bay. It's the stuff you talk about. So good on them. And that's the Dean's List here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we're going to name some winners and losers. But first, here's a way you all can be winners. Go to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox and Bailey watch shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Listen, they do everything right. They have all the touches that you want. Around Valentine's Day, which was also around my anniversary, which was also around my daughter's birthday, we went out there. We spent some money on some jewelry for my wife and my daughter. And guess what? Handwritten note came to the house today, thanking us for the experience and also letting them know if there's anything they can do, if there's anything, matching necklace we want to get with the earrings, there's more there. My point is they get to know you, and you should use the experts to ask questions, right? If you walk in there, you want to watch, talk to Nicole, talk to Josh, if you're looking for some of the main showroom jewelry, right? You're either buying a gift or you want some for yourself, talk to Alan, talk to everybody, because they are more than happy to answer your questions, and they're absolutely experts. So you want to know what kind of movements in your watch. You want to know what the dial, what makes the bezel special on this pre-owned and vintage Rolex. They have all of the answers. It's all at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location in Raleigh. When you stop out, make sure they know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. As I promised, Winners and Losers is coming up next. Go ahead and stick around.
When it comes to driving, confidence is everything. During the month of March, get it at Chapel Hill Tire with Pirelli's all-season performance you can trust. Through March 31st, when you purchase a new set of 4 P7 All-Season Plus 3 tires at Chapel Hill Tire, you can receive a $100 Pirelli Visa prepaid card by completing an online or mail-in rebate. That's premium performance and money back in your pocket. Offer not combinable with any other offer. Schedule your appointment today at chapelhilltire.com. Chapel Hill Tire. Drive happy.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or price stopped, opt out.
Hey man, how did the date go?
I had to cancel. I don't get paid until Friday.
You didn't know that you can get up to a $750 paycheck advance with the current app?
Where was that information yesterday?
Just text them, see if you qualify. $750? Boom! And right now, they're offering a $75 bonus when you set up an eligible direct deposit.
Think I should call her back?
Yeah.
Need money before payday? Current has you covered. Set up an eligible direct deposit to see if you qualify for a paycheck advance of up to $750. Hurry and receive an extra $75 sign-up bonus right now. Text BETTER to 323232. That's BETTER to 323232. BETTER to 323232.
Paycheck advance is offered by FineCo Advance LLC, a financial technology company, not an FDIC-insured bank. Eligibility and available amounts may vary and are subject to change at any time. For full terms and conditions, visit current.com/radio or call 1-888-851-3177 for more information.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's the best time of the year for college basketball, and Buffalo Brothers is a slam dunk. Best place in the Triangle to watch all the big games. They always have great drink specials, and check this out. Every Monday, half-price wings all day. That's half-price wings all day Monday. Dine in only. Now that's a deal, baby. Check out any of their 5 Triangle locations or online at buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Ehlers, he'll get it to Jarvis. Carolina gets in. Aho, back for Nikishin. They score! A power play goal! A 99-mile-an-hour rocket by Alexander Nikishin. And his 8th of the year has Carolina within 1.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Busy day today, a lot going on. So let's not waste any time. At this time, every Monday, we do something we call Winners and Losers.
This team will never lose again.
This is more aura. This is more vibes than it is like this team scored more points than that team, because anybody can check a box score. When we pick winners and losers, it's about who's actually winning, like in life. I'll get us started. Dennis, you jump in when you see fit. We'll start with winner Alec Pierce, wide receiver, Indianapolis Colts, free agent, signed back with the Colts. 4 years, $114 million. He's a top 10 highest paid wide receiver in the NFL right now. If you count him as a free agent, which I guess you do because he did technically make it to free agency, highest paid free agent receiver in NFL history, Alec Pierce. Dude had like 50 catches this past year.
Yeah, was it 47 catches for 1,076 yards, something along those lines?
Yeah, that's a lot of efficiency they're going to need to keep up. Loser, the Giants, the Panthers, and anybody with a stud receiver that's going to be asking for money in the next couple of years. If Alec Pierce just got 4 years, $114 million, like what are the neighbors or the McMillans or what are they going to be asking for when their contract comes due?
Yeah, like, oh, he got $29 million a year? We'll start there.
Yeah,
how much
we'll
for the north?
Multiply that by 2 and start there. That's just the receiver market is one that is getting, like, even Wan'Dale Robinson got a ridiculous amount of money from Tennessee.
I didn't see what he got.
78-something million. I think it's over 3-4 years.
Really?
Huge money going to receivers. Once you prove you can be a 1,000-yard receiver, which Pierce and Robinson did this year. Robinson got 4 years, $78 million, 38 guaranteed. Wan'Dale Robinson. McMillan, T-Mac's going to look at the Panthers like, I was 1,000 yards as a rookie, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns as a second-year player, third-year player, was one of the best players on the playoff offense. What do you want to start at 50? Like, what do you want to do here? Per year?
Tell Dan Morgan to start saving.
Seriously, well, actually, making sure you have a hole in your cap.
Yeah.
For that, especially you don't want to have to sign him and then make it all signing bonus to kick it into the future. If you can have a little gap there, it's not bad. It's also probably around the time that you're going to want to be paying a quarterback, so make sure you have it. Winners and losers here. Winner. Just because we highlighted a very similar stat for the men. Women's hockey in America. USA Hockey announced that it is eclipsed 100,000 girls and women's hockey players for the first time in history.
Nice.
Which, if you remember after 2010, which was the golden goal scored by Sidney Crosby, but still, United States, gold medal game, huge excitement, didn't work out, but the buzz. Shortly after that, like a year after that, is when boys hockey hit 100,000 participants in America. Now the women get a buzzy gold. Everybody talking about them. They hit 100,000. So on the up and up for hockey popularity, women's hockey popularity in the U.S. Loser, Dan Hurley. I don't know if you all saw this. UConn was slated to be the 4th number 1 overall seed. They were playing well. They got upset by Marquette, and with like a second left, Dan Hurley bumped the official, although they couldn't prove physical contact. Although I watched it, and it looked a lot like physical contact. You can't do that. You're a coach. You can't make contact with a ref. Where's the, I don't know, human ability to control your emotions a little bit, Dan Hurley? Do you have some winners and losers, Dennis, you'd like to throw out here?
I would like to throw out a winner.
Let's hear it.
I would like to throw out one of the most amazing plays I saw this entire weekend.
I'm curious.
PJ Behan, Brown's men's lacrosse. So I was on the play for when Brown played UNC men's lacrosse. I was on the commentary for it. And just for Brown, just straight knocks a guy over in his defensive end, picks the ball up, runs through a stick check, and just rips one past the goaltender. It's just one of those things. It's just like, you know what? It's like the equivalent of a sack, force fumble recovery touchdown. That's the equivalent of the play was. It was gorgeous to see. So PJ Behan, Brown men's lacrosse. That's all I got for you.
All right. It's a winner. We have to say it. Akshay Bhatia, Wake Forest resident.
He won the Arnold Palmer, right?
He won the Arnold Palmer Invitational and the $4 million prize that goes to first place.
Nice.
And the awesome cardigan that also goes to first place in honor of Arnold Palmer, who was always very dapper in his appearance. Although I also want to give a shout out to Chip Alexander, News and Observer. He tweeted this out after Akshay won. Chip first interviewed Akshay Bhatia in 2017 when he was 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Akshay said he had set lofty golf goals. One of them, be the first to shoot 59 at Augusta National.
Oh, wow.
The fact that a 15-year-old is that, A, good that he's already being interviewed, B, confident that he's going to go on to be a really, really good pro, all-time great, C, less than 10 years later, he's got 3 PGA Tour wins, and he just won a signature event of Arnold Palmer and made $4 million in a weekend. That's pretty impressive that all those things happened. So shout out to Akshay. Oh, we got a winner/loser here.
Oh, okay.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh,
He's a winner because he got absolutely paid by the Dolphins, and he's guaranteed to continue getting absolutely paid by the Dolphins this upcoming year. He's a loser because the Dolphins told him that he's going to be released today, and that means they would rather take a $99 million cap hit against their salary cap for him to play against them than to take that cap hit for him to be on their roster even as a backup. Like, the cap hit is going to hit regardless, and they're saying, yeah, just leave. That can't be good for the old confidence. It's good for the old pocketbook. Can't be good for the old confidence. And for those of you that are all about just giving extensions early, Tua, when they signed this extension, he had yet to play his fifth-year option. So they had him for $24 million in a fifth-year option. They signed him a long-term deal of which he only made one more year beyond that. So they paid roughly, and this is real money, not cap money, $123 million for one more year of Tua Tagovailoa. Bruh. $123 million. They got one more year out of it. That's good for Tua.
Great for him.
Also hurts the confidence that they paid you all that money and still told you to walk. And then lastly, for me at least, last one. Actually, no, I have a slick winner that I'll put into the end. But loser, coaches that missed the ACC tournament.
Oh, yeah?
Seems like if you're in the ACC and you're one of the three teams that don't make the ACC tournament, you might want to start cleaning up the house for open houses. Obviously, like Kevin Keats last year, NC State. But this year, two of the three, Damon Stoudemire, Georgia Tech, Earl Grant, Boston College, have already been fired. I'm thinking the ACC might want to go to like an everybody makes the tournament thing again. Just because coaches are like, no, we're not having the last three wear a dunce cap till they get fired. That's brutal. And then winner, last one. This is actually the last one, I promise, from me. Andrei Svechnikov.
Okay.
Just because I love the idea of trash talk between players and coach. And with Andrei's goal over the weekend, guess who he is now tied with for all-time goals in a Cane sweater?
Who is it?
Rod Brindamore.
Oh, is it Rod?
He tied Rod Brindamore for most goals scored by a Carolina Hurricane, obviously while they're playing for a Carolina Hurricane. And I just like when coaches can get a nice little jab in on their players and vice versa for like real trash talk reasons. I love when coach like joins in the shooting drills, regardless of who the coach is, right? I like when they get in the mix. So I hope Svetch is like, one more and you get dropped down in the record books, buddy. Right now we're tied.
Hey, coach, let me show you how it's done.
Yeah, goals. Those were fun. You wouldn't know as much as I would, not for us. Like all that kind of stuff. It's a good time. That is winners and losers here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, Monday, Soundoff, 4:15, so we're about 20 minutes away from you being able to air all of your opinions here on the air. Be ready for that. You can actually bookmark the number, 919-860-5326. It's not open now, but it will be soon. And before that even, we have to get to a little Panthers free agency, football at 4. Jaelen Phillips, what does he mean? Next.
Life's great stories are built on yes and. Yes to the big game and the private suite. Yes to the beach and sailing offshore. Yes to traveling the country and exploring new ones. With the new Millionaire for Life from the North Carolina Education Lottery, you can say yes to $1 million now and every year for a lifetime. Millionaire for Life. Winning is just the beginning. Drawing 7 days a week. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.47. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity in your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Corey and Jack called Loan Pronto. In a matter of days, they had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact and didn't even need an appraisal. With all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You can do it too. LoanPronto.com. Their rapid equity loan program can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it. Consolidated all their high interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine, pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier, get your life back. Interest rates are at a 3-year low. Call Loan Pronto, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. But why do they call it Dauntless Transmissions? Well, dauntless means showing fearlessness and determination. Now, the experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice out there this afternoon. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy with a high of 78. Overnight tonight, we drop back into the mid-50s and we'll cloud up as well. Tomorrow's really warm for us. It'll be partly cloudy with a small chance of a shower, and we could break the record high at 84 degrees.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 243 points to 47,744. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. At 4:15, we'll want to hear from you on Monday Soundoff. If you're a Panther fan out there, I expect you'll have opinions on Jaelen Phillips. 4 years, $120 million, $80 million guaranteed is the reported number on Jaelen Phillips.
That's a lot of money.
Agreed upon. It can't be signed until Wednesday, but we're going to act as if it's signed, sealed, delivered.
Yeah, when it's that kind of money, I think you're going to try and lock that in.
I doubt, like, some other teams, like, we'll give you 84 guaranteed. My guess is a reputation is on the line if you say yes to this and then bail.
Go full prices, right? $80 million and one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
$1,
Bob.
Yeah.
I love that game. Plinko. We could go on all day. My point is, Jaelen Phillips is going to be a Panther. Okay, they still have to dot the I's, cross the T's, but he's going to be a Panther, which means he immediately slides into one of the 4 most important Panthers. Maybe even higher than that, right? Obviously, quarterback, regardless of who that is, so Bryce. And then beyond that, he might be, and I'm not saying best, I'm saying most important, because they have to find a way to get after the quarterback. Have to. And Ejiro Evero, their defensive coordinator, who is being retained, does not have a history of being super creative or super voluminous with blitzes, which means they have to get to the quarterback with their front 4. If you add Jaelen Phillips as one of those edge rushers, particularly in passing downs, he has to get after the quarterback. Now, how you feel about Jaelen Phillips as a pass rusher probably has to do with, like, what decade did you fall in love with football? Because if you're old school and you count sacks and you're just like, how many times does he take the quarterback off his feet and put him on the ground? Then you're probably a bit underwhelmed because he doesn't have unbelievable, super highlighty sack totals. But if you fell in love with football, I'd say in the last 15 years, where you've just had, when you turn on ESPN or you turn on a station like ours, rather than just counting sacks or RBIs and home runs and points scored in the NBA, you're getting his pressure rate per pass rush snap facing a non-double team in a home game on primetime games is actually one of the best you've seen. If you believe more in the advanced analytics, this is a dude that gets after the quarterback and gets credits for hurries and pressures and pass rush win rates and everything else. And that is kind of the indicator of what you're hoping turns into a very good player. Now, I would say what you're kind of hoping is that the latter part, the part of the advanced analytics that really, really, really likes him, has to eventually translate to the former part, the part that gets quarterbacks on the ground and turns second downs into thirds and longs and all of that. You need that to translate, but he has the physical skill set, and he was going to be pursued heavily as a free agent by a bunch of teams because of that. Right? The money ball would be he may not have a ton of RBIs, but he gets on base. Right? He may not have a ton of sacks, but he beats his man in the pass rush and is forcing quick throws, bad throws, and everything else, and is helping the rest of his team get there for sacks. He brings a certain skill set. I said this earlier, but I do think it's part of his story. Guy gets hurt a lot, and that's another kind of how you fall on it, right? They're not, by the way, they don't appear, and at least this is to my knowledge, they don't appear to be like he doesn't want to play through injuries or something like that. It's not like he gets boo-boos and bruises and then is like, I got to take 2 weeks. It seems like he's had some very big injuries, which, like, you blow out your knee, or you in college he had some bad injuries. You could say that's just bad luck, right? It's just like, hey, bummer.
Yeah, he's
happens.
had an Achilles rupture, torn ACL.
So I don't know if those are ones you look at and go like, he's injury prone. You just look at him and go like, he's had some really bad big injuries. But either way, his availability becomes something I'm going to watch nervously for the entirety of this contract. If he simply stands up after every play and gets ready for the next one and lives up to 80% of his potential, I think this will be a very, very good contract that ages well. If either of those other two things don't happen, right, if he doesn't reach his immense potential and he doesn't stay healthy, you're going to look at this one as a what if, but there's a certain element of risk-taking anytime you sign a free agent. Right? You don't get the years early on a rookie contract where you're kind of, like it's the free play in the video game, and then eventually you got to pay to play. Like you just start in the pay to play. Like it's all risk. Ben DiNucci, who many of you remember from JMU and then a stint in the NFL, bouncing around as a quarterback, most prominently with the Cowboys, now works for CBS Sports, and he talked about the Panthers signing Jaelen Phillips.
This is a move that immediately puts Carolina in that kind of next tier, right? Look at how this team played this year. Did anybody expect them to win that division, to compete in the playoffs with the Rams? For all intents and purposes, they won that game until Matthew Stafford went down for a 2-minute drill and kind of put the dagger in them. But for them to get Jaelen Phillips, shore up that defense, get a pass rush, I think that's going to help Bryce Young. I think that's going to help this team. I think this is a great signing by them.
Listen. We don't know if it's a great signing, right? And I know that's not the sports radio-y thing to say. I'm supposed to get on here and give you like a grade on the signing. It's a B+. We don't know if it's a great signing. What we know is this is an offseason where there were a lot of options at edge rusher. There's a good chance that there would have been a pretty good edge rusher available to them at pick 19 in the draft. So that would have been another avenue they could have used to get an elite edge rusher. But it's also an offseason where we knew they needed top shelf edge rushing help. Okay? So if there's a ton of options, and Dan Morgan, obviously, the GM of the Panthers, obviously picked this player very, very quickly and made an offer that very, very quickly ended negotiations, right? This was announced, one of the first big signings of the entire free agency tampering period that started at noon today. You have to like their conviction in it, right? You have to like that they will do everything possible. The team will do everything possible to make this guy a success because they're all in on him, right? It's the reverse of what we're seeing in a bunch of other teams around the league. Bunch of other teams around the league, new coach, new GM, whatever, they show up and what are they doing? They're cutting players. They're asking them to renegotiate, restructure to take less money. And the common consensus is, well, he's not their guy. Well, that was the previous regime's guy. I like it when somebody like Jaelen Phillips is absolutely my current regime's guy because they're going to do everything they can to make him successful. They saw what they needed to in their defense. I'd be lying if part of me isn't a bit worried, but I'd much rather me be worried than them be worried. I want them convicted. I don't want them doing what I would like, but they don't believe in it. I'd much rather have them doing what they believe in, and this is a massive move. And you only make this move if you are as confident as you can be in it. It is still a bet on his potential, still a bet on his immense physical gifts, still a bet that he can stay healthy. But if those bets, come up good, watch the heck out. Because now you have a defense that theoretically should be able to get after the quarterback without having to bring too many blitzes, which allows your corners to thrive and allows your off-ball backers, who I assume they're still adding there, to roam around and stop the run. It allows Derek Brown to stop the run, and you truly let the edges do their job getting after the quarterback. It's the timing of it that makes me most optimistic. Because I think there's probably teams that need edge rusher help that are just waiting, right? They're going like, hey, there's 7 guys we like in free agency and 4 that I like in the draft. So we're just going to wait and wait for everybody else to take their picks, and we'll take whoever's left and try to save some money. The Panthers went, no, we got a guy. We want our guy. Let's go get him. And they did.
Identify your target, go after it.
Like heat-seeking missiles.
I mean, Trey Hendrickson's still out there. Odafe Owe still out there, edge rusher. So it's not like there's not big names that are still available out there, at least in terms of being able to negotiate. But as far as I would know as well, Devin Lloyd hasn't signed anywhere. I haven't seen anything regarding Quay Walker, the off-ball linebacker. So interesting to see what the markets are going to be.
There's I mean, kind of what I was saying with edge rusher, I think is going to happen with off-ball backer. And what I mean by that is I think everybody's going to wait because there's no reason to rush. Because if you don't get player A, you get player B, player C, or player D, and you like them all. There's so many good off-ball backers available and so many good off-ball backers in the draft. Devin Lloyd does feel like he's kind of a big domino to fall.
Mm-hmm.
But if you miss out on him, I don't think you're like, oh, no, what are we going to do with off-ball backer? You're like, all right, let's pivot to any of these other 7 guys we like. Or we could always just focus on the draft on making sure we get one of these other 10 guys we like. Like there's a lot of options there. So it'll be a rush once it happens, but they might be a little bit more patient.
I'm curious how this is going to impact the rest of the roster, this signing of Jaelen Phillips, because the limited cap space that they had coming into free agency, obviously I know that they can restructure a couple of contracts, in particular J.C. Horn and Derek Brown, but I'm assuming A'Shawn Robinson is going to get let go if he's not traded. I'm assuming he's going to get let go, which will open up some cap space as well. But signing a big deal like this with Phillips, you still need a starting center. Cade Mays is off to where is he off to? Detroit. He's off to Detroit. So your starting center's gone. Your left tackle's hurt. So you still have 2 offensive line that you need to fill at minimum. So you need to fill those in some way, shape, or form. But then also, you have the question of you still need a little bit of a depth piece at receiver. If it's a number 3 option to go along with Coker and McMillan, do you also add at safety as well? So there are still needs in this team. I wonder if this contract, how much that might restrict them about other moves they could possibly make.
Well, the interesting part is this contract has been agreed upon, but you don't have to be cap compliant until Wednesday.
True.
So I assume there's going to be a restructure for Derek Brown, possibly J.C. Horn. There may still be a release of some players to save cap, but there's really no reason to do that until Wednesday, partially to keep your cards close to your chest, right? Let's say they are negotiating for a Devin Lloyd. You don't want everyone else to know exactly how much money you have under the cap, right? Like, okay, they've done their restructuring. Here's how much they have. Let's go, like you said, go full Price is Right, $1 more than they can offer. If you keep all of those kind of close to your chest and just tell Derek Brown, like, all right, cool, we've agreed to this, tell his agent we're going to announce it 20 minutes before we sign all these deals on Wednesday, it can help you. So we don't know what else they want to buy. We don't know how much they still have to spend. We don't know really a lot of that. All we can do is pay attention and wait. But you're right. At the minimum, They are unaware of who's going to start at center and left tackle week 1. They are unaware who's going to be their starting off-ball linebackers. They are unaware who's going to be starting next to Trayvon Merrick at safety. That doesn't mean they don't have good options there, but I don't think they're confident in it yet. But what also is you're pretty confident you're going to have Nick Scorton on one side, Jaelen Phillips on the other, Derek Brown in the middle. Like, suddenly that front four starts to look really darn formidable if you get the best version of all those players.
By the way, the $30 million a year on average for Jaelen Phillips, 8th highest in the NFL on a per-year average. Micah Parsons at the highest at 46.5. They have Aiden Hutchinson, TJ Watt, Daniil Hunter, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Nick Bosa, Jaelen Phillips at 8. More than Brian Burns is getting, more than Josh Hines-Allen, more than Nick Benito, Montez Sweat, and quite a few guys.
And actually, I made this comparison. It's just a comparison online, but people got really mad about it. Brian Burns is almost exactly 1 year older than Jaelen Phillips. He has a lot more proven, meaning he's played twice as many snaps as Jaelen Phillips. He has over twice as many sacks as Jaelen Phillips. But I do think it's what the Panthers regime kind of looks for, right? They're not just looking at surface level stats. They want the pressure win rates. They want all the things underlying showing that a player is really good. And they'll bet on that rather than more raw totals that come with some of the other stuff. And again, the Brian Burns situation wasn't exactly apples to apples. But I do know that, hey, you moved on from an edge rusher 2 years ago. Comparing him to a similarly aged edge rusher that you just signed is an interesting conversation.
So here's some other numbers for you. Talking about the Panthers defense, about what they've spent in terms of just average per year on the contract. Again, not guaranteed, but just average per year. J.C. Horn, 3rd highest paid corner in the entire NFL. You also look at Trayvon Merrick, 6th highest paid safety in the entire NFL on a per-year basis. You also have Derek Brown, 8th highest defensive tackle on a per-year basis. Now you have the 8th highest edge rusher paid on a per-year basis in the entire NFL.
I will say some of those are going down. McDuffie's jumping over Horn. Like, there are guys that have agreed to deals, but they haven't hit yet.
Yeah.
Which is part of this, right? Almost every contract, as long as your player continues to play at an elite level, ages exceptionally well because it's the way markets work. The next guy gets paid more than the previous. When J.C. Horn signed the deal, he was the highest paid defensive back in NFL history. A month and a half later, he was the 3rd highest paid defensive back in NFL history. Now he's at least the 4th highest paid defensive back in NFL history, and it'll probably keep going down from there until eventually he's asking for more money because the market says he should make more. But yeah, I mean, the Panthers, if you bet on the right guys, it's very difficult to have bad contracts. If you bet on the wrong guys, contracts can get ugly in a hurry. So you just got to make sure you bet on the right guys. It's that simple. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on and open up our phone lines for Monday Sound Off, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. One thing that I've noticed with the weight that I've lost with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, by the way, I lost 42 pounds. I know some people probably heard that number a lot, but it's good to reemphasize. 42 pounds lost, over 15% of my body weight. And one of the things that I've noticed just on a daily life standpoint is just how much easier just the simple daily tasks are. I didn't realize how the extra weight that I was carrying, how much of a negative impact it was having on my body until I lost the weight. For example, take the dog out for a walk in the morning. Come back, my ankle's feeling a little sore. Knees are feeling a little achy. I just figured, it's just because I'm in my 30s. Then I lost weight, and I go for a walk with the dog, and I'm like, body's feeling pretty good. Heck, yesterday I played not 1, but 2 hockey games yesterday. I would not have been able to do that a year ago with all the weight that I was carrying. But I can do that kind of stuff now. This daily, simple life that is just getting so much easier just thanks to the weight that I've lost. But most importantly, not one single shot, not one single injection, no pill, no surgery, no drugs, no side effects. just resetting your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing. That's what Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their weight loss program is all about doing. That way, again, your body can do the natural thing. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone call. You got questions, you got concerns, just bring that all to the table. 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. By the way, first 50 callers, save $100. So call now. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
Just to update something we said 2 minutes ago. Odafe Owe, the edge rusher, going to the Commanders, 4 years, $100 million deal, 68 guaranteed. So
that's less than what Phillips got.
By a good amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
much less.
$12 million in guaranteed less and $20 million in overall less for the same 4 years.
Still paid.
I mean, no one's crying for him.
No, I'm not.
But Phillips definitely the high watermark there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, opening up the phone lines right now. We want you to call in with your Monday sound-offs on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. It's the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Call in now whether you want to talk Panthers free agency, NFL free agency, college basketball ahead of the ACC and NCAA tournaments. Canes lost to Calgary but beat Edmonton. How do you feel? 919-860-5326. Call in now. We'll get to your calls next.
Move your sports day forward.
They say hope isn't a strategy, but during college basketball conference tournament time, it's a fact. Hope, the money your team spent in the offseason, bought some clutch performances. Hope, it purchased enough wins so you aren't first four out. Your team will be evaluated dependent on this hope, and have faith knowing early exits will be judged harshly.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with zero payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done, and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. So, we have opened up the phone lines, 919-860-5326. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. You can call in and discuss whatever you want to discuss, right? The world is your oyster. Could be Carolina Hurricanes. Could be Carolina Panthers. College basketball, Duke, State, UNC, NCAA tournament, ACC tournament. It's all there for you. It's all right there at your disposal. 919-860-5326 or anything else you want to discuss. As always, if you don't get through, keep calling. Lines will open up as we go on. We do our best to get to as many callers as we can on a Monday Sound Off. We'll get things started with Gray in Raleigh. Gray wants to sound off on the Carolina Panthers. Gray, welcome. Happy to have you. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim. Thanks. I missed calling in about the Panthers. I just wanted to shout out the whole team and all the young guys that are doing really well. I wanted to shout out to Cade Mays. I think most people probably figured he would be leaving just because he's going to command a little bit more money. Really happy for him. I think he deserves it. I like the Jaelen Phillips sign. I think it's a good pick. Like you said, I hope he stays healthy. Overall, I'm very interested at this point where this might take our draft pick. Looking at it and looking at what a lot of teams did today, I think Jeremiah Love probably being a top 10 pick maybe goes out the window a little bit unless the Giants maybe pick him or if they're keeping Scatterbo or if the Titans take him unless they have a lot of faith in Tony Pollard. I think our pick maybe could go to him if he doesn't go in that top 10. I think we could take Sadiq now that Cade Otton's going back to the Bucks. I think overall I'd probably like for them to trade back and maybe take up Rodriguez as a linebacker spot and then maybe another edge rusher if you want to have a backup for Phillips if he happens to get injured again. Curious what your thoughts are on the draft pick at this point. I know it's still early, but I appreciate it as always.
Thank you very much. I'm a draft nerd, so I love a draft question. Everybody else, keep calling in. Doesn't have to be draft related. Anything you want, 919-860-5326. I don't think Jeremiah Love makes it to 19. I also don't think the Panthers would draft a running back. Could be the Titans, could be the Giants. Those are both top 5 picks. Could be Washington at 7. There's a lot of options there for running backs to go ahead and make a splash. So I'm not quite there yet. The draft is still going to be fascinating. The thing that the Panthers have done that I respect a lot about the Panthers is they tend to do their best to fill, at least with a stopgap, all of the holes in the roster in free agency. So then in the draft, it does free them up to go as best player available as possible. Not saying their roster is like finished, but I would expect them to do the same. I would expect them to get at least some kind of veteran in most spots of need prior to free agency or prior to the draft using free agency, and then go some form of best player available moving forward. And yes, Cade Mays played his way into not being a Panther anymore, right? It's like the freshman at a mid-major program in basketball. It's like you start off really excited that they're playing well, and then you get kind of nervous that they're playing well because you know they're going to leave in the offseason. That was the Cade Mays experience. He came in and it was like, look at that, Cade Mays playing pretty well. Oh, no, Cade Mays he's gone, isn't he? Yep, and he goes to the Lions and makes a bunch of money. Back to the call-in line. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Kessler, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Lake Norman wants to sound off on the Canes and a little bit more here. So, Kessler, floor is yours. Take it away.
Hey, what's going on, Tim? Appreciate you having me on today. Kessler Tyner calling from Lake Norman, Tyner Family All-State. Anyways, I wanted to start off with the Phillips signing. So we give up Brian Burns, who ends up making gets $30 million, leads the league in sacks last year, to sign a guy who I don't think he's played a full year. Could be wrong. I think last year he might have been his first with 5 sacks. So I don't really know what we're doing there. And then letting Mays walk, just creating extra holes that we don't really need to because we have to fill that left tackle spot. Anyway, so I don't know. We'll see. I'll hope for the best, but I don't know why it seems like in free agency under Morgan, in order to fill a hole, it has to be like the most expensive guy out there, or we make him the most expensive player without him needing to be. But anyways, and then onto the Canes, just a little disappointed. I'm sure a lot of us were. We didn't make moves, and I'm just a little worried in late May, early June. It's Game 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals against Tampa. We're down 3-1, and we're saying, did we really need that other first-round pick? But we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the best, but thanks for having me, Tim.
All right, appreciate it. Two different things to address there. The Jaelen Phillips, Brian Burns deal. First of all, I think the Brian Burns mistake happened prior to Dan Morgan and Dave Canales taking over. If you were going to move on from him, I think you had to do it earlier so you'd get more full value, but they didn't have that ability because they weren't running the show. Second of all, I described it earlier. Phillips is much more – the advanced analytics love him. Burns is much more – he has 71 career sacks, and people get excited about that sort of thing. I'm not saying one's right, one's wrong. Phillips probably a little bit better cover, getting out in space, doing those sort of things if you want to use that guy. But I can see why you'd be frustrated if you have a Brian Burns jersey or something and you don't get to wear it anymore. As far as disappointed the Canes didn't do anything and, are we going to be sitting there saying we still have that first-round pick? I'll give you this. I'll give you a different scenario. What about this offseason? What if Jason Robertson is available? What if there's an article on The Athletic now that says this offseason could be straight fireworks. What if Austin Matthews is available? What if Jason Robertson is available? What if Robert Thomas becomes much more readily priced available and you're sitting around going, we gave up all those first-round picks for Trocheck. Or we had to go make a Godfather offer to get a slightly better center, and now we have to be out on this all-time auction this offseason. You can play the what-if game in both directions till you're blue in the face. The fact of the matter is I don't think there were a lot of deals available at this deadline. So unless you were going to go make true Godfather offers, which are almost never good, there wasn't anything you could do. I know that's not what people want to hear. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have Tyson in Raleigh. Wants to sound off on some NFL free agency stuff here. I think that's what this is, at least. Tyson, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, I'm calling in regards to the giving praise to all these 1,000-yard rushers and receiver, how great they are. I just want to rewind to when there was 10 games and you had 1,000. That's an A-plus athlete, right? 10 games, 1,000, 100 yards a game, right? You're like, boom, got to have one of those guys.
Okay.
12 games, okay, then, A- maybe, because you got a few more games, but 14, but let's fast forward to 16 and 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 16 games, 17 games, that's like 58 yards a game. And if you go back to when football first started, if you couldn't average 60 yards, you wouldn't have been on the starting team. So all these 1,000-yard people just barely making 1,000, to me, they really suck in the NFL.
But
you know what I mean? You need about 1,300 to be mentioned. They need to change the standard. You can't have a standard at 1,000 now for 10 games. Now it's almost doubled at 17, and that's the standard. The whole sports will need to change that.
But hold on. Like breaking it down to per game is one way. Breaking it down to per carry is another. You go back 50 years, you had one running back, you gave him the ball 40 times. He ends up with 1,000 yards. It's probably about 4 or 5 yards a carry. Nowadays, 17 games, but you're only getting 17 carries a game. You end up with 1,000 yards. It's probably 4 or 5 yards a carry. There's like differences in a bunch of different ways, era to era.
Right, but also the receivers too. You know what I mean? So if you do that with the receivers, 1,000 yards, like I said, you just play with the numbers. 60 yards is not a great athlete if you think about it, right? When you on a 10-game season. So to average 60 yards in a 17-game season, is that really a great player? Question.
All right, I appreciate it. I hear you, and I want to give you credit because I agree, and it makes records and everything a little bit more I don't know, fraudulent might be the word there. But I would just add one thing. There's really not that many 1,000-yard rushers or receivers anymore. There were 20 because they were actually tied. 20 1,000-yard receivers last year. If it's so easy to get with 17 games, why isn't there at least one per team, right? There are 17 in the entire league last year, receivers. Maybe defenses are getting better too. Never think of that. Maybe edge rushers are getting more specific in their abilities. It's really impossible to compare eras is kind of what I'm getting at. So if you're amongst the best this year, you're amongst the best. Let's jump to Tim in South Carolina. Oh, there you go. Got to remind the people, it is a Monday sound off. 919-860-5326. That is the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Call in with whatever you want to talk about. Could be Panthers, could be Canes, college sports, national sports, whatever you're looking for. 919-860-5326. As you might have heard me say there, Tim in South Carolina up next wants to sound off on both Duke and the Canes, and we want to hear it. Tim, great name. The floor is yours.
Likewise, great name to you as well, sir.
Thank you.
I'll start by saying Duke is by far the best team in the country. I don't think that's even a question. If they don't win the championship after last year's choke, there's going to be some pretty upset fans. Then tying back into the Canes, I did call in last week. I thought it was funny that a caller earlier mentioned about Tampa. To be honest with you, my biggest concern is goaltending. Andre Vasilevsky before the Olympic break was 19-0-1 in a 20-game stretch. I think that's probably pretty good. I just don't know that the Canes have the guy to make the big save when it really counts. Like you said, also, as far as getting that big goal score, I know the prices were high, and obviously that steers away someone like Eric Tolsky, but when you really need it, like we're missing that Jake Gensel, like I feel like we had a couple years ago. I just don't know if we have that on our roster. So I think really what's going to hold us back against a team like Tampa, I don't know if you watched the game yesterday, 8-7, incredible regular season hockey game. I just don't know if we have the goaltender to stop a high-powered team like that. That's my biggest concern. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
All right. As far as wins and losses go, as you referenced with the Vasilevsky number, those two guys this year, Brandon Bussey and Andre Vasilevsky, are 2 of 4 players in history to win 25 games in a 29-game span. They both did it this year. Brandon Bussey did it in his first 29 games. So wins, losses, I don't know if that's the best goalie stat, but if that's what excites you, Brandon Bussey's won through first 30 games more than anyone in the history of the NHL. I agree with you if goalie is going to be your concern. I agree with you. Until I see quite a bit more just calm, steady play, I will consider, I say it all the time. My subconscious gets worried about what my subconscious gets worried about, and it's worried about goalies. As far as Duke, if they don't win a national championship, it's a choke job. I hear you, and I know this is the least popular opinion in the world. The NCAA tournament is wildly, wildly difficult to win, even if you are the best team in the country. I think Duke was the best team in the country last year. They did not win. Is that a choke job? I think they choked in the Houston game towards the end, but I don't think it was a choke job if they didn't win the national championship. All you can do is continue to give yourself good chances at it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they win it this year either. Let's jump to on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Lines remain open. We have Isaiah in Wake Forest wants to sound off on the Panthers. Isaiah, welcome to the show. The floor is yours.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. I'm actually going to change my sound off. It's going to be just NFL free agency, period.
Deal.
But first, I'm going to open with the Panthers. I love the Jaelen Phillips to Carolina. I think that was the best choice overall. I wanted Max Crosby personally the most, but I wouldn't be willing to give up 2 first rounds. You're not in that win now mentality that the Ravens are.
Agreed.
The Ravens can give up 2 firsts. We can't right now. We're still rebuilding. So I like the 4 years on a young Jaelen Phillips who's about 27. So he's still got 4 good years out of him. Additionally, really quickly, Mike Evans to San Francisco, did not see that coming. That was pretty wild. I thought he was going to be a Buck for life. And then I feel like Miami's I really like Willis going there. I think he's going to be a good option. And I wish the Panthers had done something to get Tyler Linderbaum, because I saw the article on ESPN. It said the Carolina Panthers are going to upgrade at center. Well, Tyler Linderbaum was the obvious upgrade there. I wish they had signed him. I know it was expensive, but if they hold on to Cade Mays, I won't be upset because I thought he did pretty well. I thought the offensive line wasn't a problem last year.
All right,
Thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate it. I do have some bad news for you. They did not hold on to Cade Mays. He's agreed to a contract with the Detroit Lions for good money. I think it's like $25 million a year, or sorry, $25 million over 3 years. Big difference there. $25 million over 3 years with less than that guaranteed. Some of the things you mentioned. Jaelen Phillips, if he's your edge rusher, they went and got him, and they did not make any bones about it. That is a let's get this done quick. Mike Evans to San Francisco. I like that he's out of the division for the Panthers' sake. I'm kind of bummed. I just like one-team Hall of Famers. I like guys that win a Super Bowl, stay on the team, retire on the team. That's like Tim Duncan, like Kobe Bryant. I don't know. That's just what John Elway. Like, I like that. And Mike Evans kind of had the ability to do it, but he's not going to because now he's going to finish at least this year. Maybe he'll go to a few different places, but this year to the Niners. Malik Willis to Miami, it's a risk. I mean, the guy has very few attempts passing in the NFL. Physically, he's exciting. It's a risk. And Linderbaum, my guess is you can't do both Phillips and Linderbaum. Money is not unlimited in the NFL, and they were both top paid guys.
By the way, speaking of NFC South, according to Schefter, looks like former Dolphins QB Tua Tagovailoa plans to sign a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons.
Probably a minimum deal. I would imagine, because he has offset language in his contract. So if he gets paid anything more than that, that's just letting the Dolphins off the hook. And why would he do that? So the Dolphins will pay the majority of his cash. He'll get a minimum from the Falcons for 1 year. And I assume he'll start early while Penix is getting better. And then there might be some form of a competition, or if it's going well with Tua, he keeps it. If not, they can go to Penix. What I do know is this. They like left-handed quarterbacks. I couldn't think, and I racked my brain pretty hard. I couldn't think of a team that had two lefties in their quarterback room at the same time.
UNC football this past year?
UNC.
With Gio Lopez and Max Johnson?
But the Falcons love them. Like Vic was a lefty, Penix lefty. Now they're getting Tua lefty. They love their lefties in Atlanta. All right, we have let me see here. We have one more. Going to wrap it up with Pat in Durham wants to sound off on NC State basketball. What a appropriate way to wrap things up here. Pat, end it with a bang. Go ahead and sound off.
Well, that bang you hear is actually NC State's season getting blown up. But I thought they played well enough to win, but they did enough to lose. I mean, they missed an open dunk. I don't know what's up with Williams going to the hoop, got a couple of guys in front of him, 1 foot in front of the rim, with down by 2, and he throws the ball to a covered three-point shooter. I just don't understand what he was trying to do that game. I guess set the record for assist. But anyway, that, and plus, real quickly, being a Washington fan, I couldn't understand them letting their center go. I think it was for $8.75 million, and the next day, I think the Chargers signed him 3 years for $30. And he was a top 10 center in the league. Anything you can enlighten me on, I'd appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. State is a difficult one. And Darian Williams did not work out the way that everybody hoped it would. Will Wade has said it. The team is I think he equated it to like a lock. Each player is a lock, and he has to find the combination for each player, and he just hasn't been able to find the right combination to get everybody going at the same time. And that includes Williams, who obviously came in with a lot of fanfare. Preseason ACC Player of the Year. He's not on the third team All-ACC team, so that shows you how things didn't go the way that you wanted them to. As far as the center, and I don't know how to pronounce the name, the guy from Washington that went to the Chargers, that is mistiming and misreading the market. If somebody's going to get paid that much, you could have traded him for a pick, and for whatever reason they were unable to do it. So yeah, that's just bad play, bad GMing, right? Tap your chest. That one's on me. Not a great job. Do better next time, especially when you see like the Packers were pretty much guaranteed to cut Rashawn Gary. And then the Cowboys were like, we'll give you a 4th rounder. Like, you should be able to get something for good players, even when you're going to cut them. So I got nothing for you as far as explanation there, other than, GMs mess up too. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you, as always, to all of you that jump on the phone for a Monday Sound Off. We'll do it again 1 week from today. There'll be, I assume, some ACC tournament reactions on that Monday Sound Off next week.
Some Selection Sunday reactions?
Some Selection Sunday reactions. For sure. Will State even be in it? Stick around to find out.
Yeah.
That's next week on Monday Sound Off. Before we move on, and we will talk about NC State and that exact loss to Stanford that has their fan base so frustrated, but before we do any of that, Dennis Cox has something for you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers. This spring weather, it's so wonderful because I love being able to get out on my motorcycle and just going out for a ride and enjoying the wonderful weather that's out there. And I want you to be out there and enjoying this wonderful weather on a motorcycle with me. That's why you got to go to caniacsbike.com, because the Law Tigers, they're once again teaming up with your Carolina Hurricanes to give one lucky Caniac a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle, courtesy of Art Moto Garage and Shiny Side Paint. Simple to enter, folks. You go to caniacsbike.com. That's simple. Go to caniacsbike.com. You enter for your chance to win. Bike will be given away live on the ice April 4th. It includes tickets into a catered suite as well. But the deadline to enter, we're less than 3 weeks away. It's March 29th. That's 20 days from now, folks. You got to enter by then. So if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Go to caniacsbike.com. You'll see pictures of the bike right there. Again, Art Moto Garage is where the bike is located. So if you want to see it, swing on over. Check it out. It's absolutely awesome. Also, make sure you go check out, again, caniacsbike.com. It literally takes you a minute to enter. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back looking at NC State's loss to Stanford and where they stand as a team. Stick around.
Listen for the "Did he just do that?"
Trimble draws the foul and gets the layup to go.
Listen for the "Get that out of here's."
Oh, volleyball by Brown. Wow, what a defensive play.
Oh, my goodness.
Trimble's going to have a wide open tomahawk finish.
The road to Indianapolis runs through 99.9 The Fan. Driven by Strategic Tax Resolution, Wake Med, Fairway Green, and Chapel Hill Family and Cosmetic Dentistry.
This is Ray Womble Jr. from J.E. Womble & Sons in Lillington. Spring is almost here and grass cutting will be in full force. Bobcat zero-turn mowers will make your lawn maintenance so much easier. We're offering up to a $1,250 instant rebate and 0% financing on select Bobcat mowers. Now is the time to upgrade to a brand new Bobcat that brings tough to turf. And remember, if J.E. Womble & Sons doesn't have it, you don't need it.
For 2 days only, Bailey's Fine Jewelry invites watch lovers to a can't-miss pre-owned luxury watch event, March 20th and 21st in Raleigh's Village District. Explore hundreds of exceptional Bailey's certified pre-owned timepieces from iconic brands like Rolex, Cartier, and more, expertly curated and available for a limited time. Whether you're a seasoned collector or purchasing your first luxury watch, this is a rare chance to see an unmatched selection in one place. 2 days, hundreds of watches, one destination. Bailey's pre-owned luxury watch event, March 20th and 21st. Learn more at baileybox.com.
At First Carolina Bank, we pride ourselves on building relationships and doing the day-to-day things in banking extremely well. Experience the First Carolina way for yourself or your business today. Visit firstcarolinabank.com. First Carolina Bank, member FDIC.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with Upfit Solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet. Choose custom installed Upfit Solutions from Van Products.
Hey, what do you say? John Porcelain here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's the best time of the year for college basketball, and Buffalo Brothers is a slam dunk. Best place in the Triangle to watch all the big games. They always have great drink specials, and check this out. Every Monday, half-price wings all day. That's half-price wings all day Monday. Dine in only. Now that's a deal, baby. Check out any of their 5 Triangle locations or online at buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Trickles out to Lubin now. Pack may have found the answer. It's Terrence Arsenault. Passes left corner, Abel. He hoists and hits. Left corner ties the game.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, I do believe that the ACC postseason awards will be coming out at 5. So at some point in the next hour, assuming that they're out on schedule, we will let you know kind of where the voting settled on many of the awards. in men's basketball for the ACC, talking, first team, coach of the year, that sort of thing. I would be surprised if you see many, if any, NC State Wolfpack on those lists, which is crazy when you think of the I like hype might be one way to put it, but just the projections at the beginning of the year. And there's the funniest part about it is there's really not many people, at least not many people in a public-facing role, that can sit back and say, I told you. Because, like Darian Williams was the ACC preseason player of the year. And even those that didn't vote for him as the player of the year, it's not like they didn't vote for him. They had him like third. It's nobody perceived or I should say predicted what has happened over the last 7 games for State. And I think many of us, and this is where I'll raise my hand and say I was right there in the mix of it, kind of expected, even if they looked a little helter-skelter at the beginning of the year, that Will Wade has such a strong history of having his teams ready for the tournament, and that goes for multiple different stops, multiple different levels of basketball, that by now there would be, even if it was, I think they're going to be a 10 seed, it was like a 10 seed that nobody wants to see. But instead it's kind of like, if they make the tournament, I don't think anybody's going to be afraid of them. And that's not being mean. That's just being real based on what you've seen on the floor the last 7 games. The last 7 games, a blowout loss to Louisville, a brutal collapse at the end against Miami. They did get the win over Carolina, and that one is a oasis in a desert. It is just a glorious drink of water between 40 days and 40 nights of drought.
Without their 2 best players.
Without their 2 best players, but even with that, you'll take that win because it was a dominant win. You won by a bunch. Then a brutal blowout loss at Virginia, a brutal collapse overtime loss at Notre Dame, a brutal blowout loss against Duke, and then a brutal down the stretch, not able to execute enough to get a win, lose by 1 against Stanford. And maybe the worst part about it is starting after the Virginia win, after the UNC win, starting with the Virginia game, you kind of knew only one more win would have punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament. If you would have beaten Virginia, Notre Dame, Duke, or Stanford, and obviously those are differing levels of difficulty, but if you just win one, if you go out there and play desperate for a win and just win one, then many of the conversations going on right now are moot. But instead, we're looking at them in the ACC tournament, which comes up that they will start on Wednesday. And they probably have to win a game to feel good. Not, they don't move to a 0% chance if they lose, but to feel good about their chances, they probably have to win a game, maybe 2. And remember, it did feel for, I would say, 84.5% of the season that even though there were ups and downs and peaks and valleys, and it seemed like Will Wade was going to make good on all of his promises, right? Be in the top part of the ACC, make the NCAA tournament, all of these things that he promised right up front. Even when they were struggling, it was still like, yeah, but they're still kind of in the mix at the top of the ACC. Yeah, but the metrics still love them. They're still going to be in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, but and now the yeah buts are going away. And that becomes a whole different beast. In the Stanford loss, there were some real kind of harrowing numbers, starting with Darian Williams' 4 points scored. And this game was a little all over the place because, I don't want to say all over the place, but like Jordan Snell started as a senior walk-on, very, very valuable dude to the program for reasons outside of basketball, culture building, and everything. So he started, and that's always cool. But like Matt Abel pretty much has been coming off the bench. Even I'm not going to sit there and be like he would have started. He's playing a bunch of minutes. He seems like a guy that should have been playing a lot earlier. Yeah, there's some things that this roster may be inclined to do that they haven't reached yet, meaning some ways that players can be used a bit better that they haven't gotten to maybe quick enough. And that's probably frustrating. I mean, even something like Quadir Copeland, and I'm as big a fan of Quadir Copeland. At times, I thought he was on his way to being like first-team All-ACC. He was lighting it up, filling up the stat sheet. In a gotta-have-it game against Stanford, 2 assists, 6 turnovers, and was sloppy at times. And he was the steady Eddie. If you go back to the very first rants from Will Wade, the ones that really caught our attention, he was taking time to pause and go like, not Quadir Copeland, not Van Allen Lubin, and then back to bashing his team. There was some sloppiness against Stanford. And not to mention, Stanford had some guards that got after it scoring the basketball, and he's part of the perimeter defense that's supposed to stop those guys. Let's hear from Will Wade after the game, how he broke it down. Here's what he had to say about close losses, and as most leaders do, he was attracting the blame.
When you lose close games, it's on coaching. So, we haven't made the plays that we've needed to. I thought Stanford played with great poise and composure down the stretch. Give them a ton of credit. I mean, they played with incredible poise, incredible composure. Some of the shots they hit at the end of the shot clock, the free throws they hit. I mean, they just did they were really, really good. But we've had some lapses that really hurt us, and we've lost quite a few. This is like the 4th game like this that we've lost, and it's a difference between a good year and a great year, or an okay year and a good year, and we haven't been able to close these out. And that's, at the end of the day, it stops with me.
That's a good coaching move, right? And when bad things go bad, attract the blame. When things go well, deflect the credit. He's been a bit all over the place with his post-game pressers, but that one kind of falls right in line with Coach Speak 101, which he has not fallen in line with a ton this year. Let's hear more from Will Wade about Darian Williams and what Will Wade thinks needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, we got to find a way to get him back going. He's been struggling, and I haven't done a good enough job helping him out. But we need him. We need him to play better for our team, and I need to do a better job of trying to reach him and get him to play up to his capabilities. But it's a tough day for certainly a tough day for him.
Got to get him up to playing their best ability. That goes back to the Will Wade quote. I think it was on his coach's show last week that he talked about with the locks and having to find the combinations of each player and how he hasn't done a good enough job doing that. Darian Williams feels to me like, I don't know if all of you have kids out there, but if you see your toddler that doesn't quite get it playing with your phone, and you're like, oh, that's funny, ha, ha, ha. And then you go over there and it's like your phone has been locked for 2 million minutes because they tried 9,000 different passwords. And, now you're locked out of your phone forever. That's, to me, Will Wade and Darian Williams. He has tried so many different lock combinations to get that guy going. He's very, I think, obviously kind of subtweeted him in post-game pressers where, he criticized the team, but it felt like he was just criticizing Williams. He's defended the heck out of Darian Williams after maybe not great performances. He's given him gigantic amount of usage. He's given him less usage. He's tried everything. And if at this point in the season he's still sitting there going like, we got to get him playing his best, it's like, well, do you have any other combos to try? A kid at his locker going, I forgot the locker combo, 33, 9, 17. Nope, 33, 9, 18. Nope, 33, 9, 19. This is going to take me a while, guys. Maybe I will never get into my locker ever again. Or, and I don't know what the coaching equivalent of this is, maybe you got to get the bolt cutters. Right? Maybe you got to say, forget finding the combo. I'm just going to break this bad boy off. And I'm going to get the janitor over here, and we're going to get our way into this locker. I don't know what the coaching equivalent of that is, but I guess it's like, break glass in case of emergency. They got to do something by the ACC tournament because if they don't win 1, maybe 2 games, that combination is just going to stay lost forever.
Well, then, yeah, put them firmly on the bubble for the NCAA tournament.
To me, they're on the bubble now. And their standing on the bubble that is determined by what happens at the ACC tournament. Are they leaning good side of the bubble, leaning bad side of the bubble? Will Wade talked about his team's status as a bubble team.
There's a reason all the teams are on the bubble. They all have warts. we certainly know of our warts because we're here every day, but all the other ones have warts too. So I think we'll stack up pretty favorably. But we certainly don't want to risk it by going one and done in Charlotte. That would certainly put us at further risk. Not that winning one secures anything. You don't necessarily know that, but I think that we'd be well advised to win our first game.
Gosh, he sounds beaten down, doesn't he? It'd be well advised to win our first game. I will be in the cold plunge tub. Goodbye. Goodness. What happened to, the Red Reckoning, Coach? What happened to a little bit of life? Getting your guys playing tough out there, Coach. I'm not saying one win would put us in the tournament, but haven't slept in 9 days. Bruh. Give me some juice. Need some electricity. Need some reckonings of Reds. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting five coming up where we'll hit all the biggest news across the NFL. But before we get to any of that, Dennis Cox has something for you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for Loan Pronto. Folks, are those high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? Well, it's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity in your home and get the cash that you need now that you can pay it all off. One couple, Corey and Jack, they called Loan Pronto, and in a matter of days, they had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact and didn't even need an appraisal. With all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. And you can do it too. LoanPronto.com. Their rapid equity loan program can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Another couple, Chloe and Ethan, they did just that. They consolidated all their high-interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Just imagine. Pay off all your credit cards, you slash your monthly payments, you breathe a little easier, get your life back. Interest rates are at 3-year lows. Call Loan Pronto, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to the starting five. Coming up in just a minute or two.
The Adam Gold Show.
The Olympics are over. Jacob Slavin's a gold medal winner. Sebastian Aho won a bronze. Seth Jarvis won a silver. And now it's about the business of finishing this. The day job for Jarvis and Slavin and Aho, it's about winning the Stanley Cup. 25 games, 49 days. It is a gauntlet between now and the end of the season and the start of the playoffs.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $200 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.49 to 4.37. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hi, Greg Talbot with Strategic Tax Resolution. Tax enforcement and defense strategies have changed a lot over the last year. After nearly 5 years, the IRS has restarted automated collections. You could be next for bank levies and wage garnishments. Ignoring the issue is not an option. Call 984-272-2600 to get protected. Do you have unfiled returns or tax debt? We work directly with the IRS and states so you don't have to. Let us use our proven strategies and experience with the IRS and state to resolve your tax issue. Qualified clients have cut their tax debt by more than 90%. How would that feel? Act now to learn the latest updates to tax relief programs. Your eligibility may not be the same. Strategic Tax Resolution. Local, trusted, A+ rated by the BBB. Call 984-272-2600. Ask for me, Greg Talbot. 984-272-2600. You've got a guy on your side. StrategicTaxResolution.com. Get relief.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Thanks. Got my seat cushion, crossword puzzle, and can't forget the hand sanitizer.
Okay, show me the waiting room.
No need for all that. You can stay in your car.
I'll stay in my car? Get out.
Yep, you stay in. It'll just be 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Get out.
Go ahead, sit back and relax.
Well, I guess I'll save all this for the DMV. If only they took 10 minutes, am I right? I'm sorry.
Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
If you plan on making health and wellness a priority this year, I know just the place you need to visit. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here for Atlantic Spas and Billiards, who is stacked with everything you need to bring a little more fun and excitement along with health and wellness into your home. Try it all firsthand. Learn the difference between an infrared and a traditional T-low sauna. Take a walk on their water treadmill or maybe even swim a lap or two in their endless pool swim spa right there in the showroom. Atlantic Spas and Billiards on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh today.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WREL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Some nice weather this afternoon. Sunshine out there with a few clouds around. Temperatures in the upper 70s today. Some climbing into the low 80s. Mostly clear tonight. Some patchy fog possible with temperatures in the mid-50s.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 239 points to 47,740.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, everybody, subscribe to our YouTube and download our app. Both 99.9 The Fan. Search for them. YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe. Tell your friends. App, Google Play, App Store. Search 99.9 The Fan. Download it. Completely free to you. Do it. And if you've already done it, congratulations. You're awesome. You're the real MVP. Now, here it's time for the starting 5, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
NFL free agency legal tampering period has begun. We are 5 hours into it. It essentially means you can agree to deals, but you just can't put pen to paper. We're treating the deals reported as if they are real and happening. First of all, Jaelen Phillips to the Panthers. We'll get to that. We're going to have a separate section here where we talk Panthers. When it comes to the rest of the NFL, Tua Tagovailoa to the Falcons on a 1-year deal, which will be for very little money because the Dolphins have to pay him $50-something million, and anything that he makes from the Falcons will be removed from that 50-something, so he has no motivation to help out the Dolphins. So he'll be in the division with the Panthers. Travis Etienne from Jacksonville, the Jaguars running back, Clemson running back, has signed in total value has agreed to in total value the largest running back contract in the NFL. 4 years, $52 million. We don't know how much of that is guaranteed, but we do know he will be in New Orleans again in the division with the Carolina Panthers. Mike Evans will not be in the division with the Carolina Panthers, leaving the Bucs for a 3-year, I believe $60 million roughly is the deal there. 3 years, $60 million with the Niners, which is literally like one man's fumble is another man's payday. That's almost the exact money they were scheduled over the same amount of time to give Brandon Ayuk. But Brandon Ayuk had all of his guarantees waived because he didn't show up to rehab his injury. And with those gone, they're just going to give the money to Mike Evans. Kyle Shanahan. Just taking money from one guy, giving it to another. John Lynch. Dennis, obviously there's been stuff breaking throughout the show, and I've been following it as much as I can. But what stands out to you about the way the NFL is spending money in free agency?
It's kind of wild. By the way, Gardner Minshew going to the Arizona Cardinals quarterback.
Starter money?
I actually didn't see what the contract was. It's just a 1-year deal. $8.25 million. It might be a bridge QB situation. It's still actually amazing to me to see some of these top guys that are actually still out there. Like Trey Hendrickson hasn't signed. Some of the off-ball linebackers like Quay Walker, Devin Lloyd, we haven't seen those guys signed yet. I'm really curious to see how that all shakes out. I'm wondering if teams were like, we have to go get our guy or fill this need first before we start tapping into these other areas.
I mean, there's probably a game of chicken going on some of the, like Trey Hendrickson. He and his agent have to decide, do we take the first big money deal or do we wait till there's two teams that absolutely need a stud edge rusher and there's only me available? Because if you get to that situation, you can drive up the price. But you're playing a game of chicken where you might get left, holding an empty bag. As far as other edge rushers go, what was it? Odafe Owe signed with the Commanders for 4 years, $100 million, $68 guaranteed. Corners seem to be getting paid kind of all over the place. Whether they are like the gigantic deals like we expected from McDuffie, who was traded from the Chiefs to the Rams, or even somebody like Alante Taylor from the Saints, who went to the Titans. So he's leaving the division as well. Got 3 years, $60, $42 guaranteed. There's maybe the first big domino to fall. We didn't talk about this. Former Wake Forest running back and Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker goes to he signs a fairly big deal with the Chiefs. Chiefs seem to have been chasing running backs for a while now, and Kenneth Walker give them a little bit of pop. We'll see what they can do. And yes, there's still a bunch available. You know what else is? And this pertains to the Panthers in kind of a big way. I can't tell if the league really, really values or is moving away from valuing centers. Because there's a lot of centers that have just gotten like either released or like what was it, Elgton Jenkins from the Packers, a center who has been a Pro Bowler, just got cut. But at the same time, you have guys like Linderbaum, the guy that signed with the Chargers. Some guys are getting like market-setting deals at center, and other teams are cutting them just to save space. And it's like usually those things move in waves, where like when running backs aren't getting paid, everybody's not paying running backs. When wide receivers get paid, everybody's breaking the bank for receivers. It's rare to see teams just like some going, we'll find a guy, and some going, we will pay all of the money for a guy. It's a little rare there. And the Panthers are in need of a center right now because Cade Mays, who I guess they couldn't afford to bring back, got about $8 million a year to sign up and block for Jahmyr Gibbs and the Detroit Lions. And I don't know what the Panthers are going to do at center. If they bargain hunt, maybe that's the way to do it, but it seems like a lot of the good guys are getting paid a huge amount of money. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Kwity Paye, here's another edge rusher. Goes to the Raiders, $16 million per year, although I don't know how many years. That's from Ian Rappaport. So another edge rusher getting paid. Very interested in all this. And last thing I'll say before we move to the Panthers side of things. When you see a deal, wait till you get the real numbers. Sometimes it's 4 years, $100 million, and you recognize it's actually like a 1 year, $22 million deal that they can get out of with no dead money after that. So it's not every $100 million deal is created the same. Some agents just like to say, I've negotiated $100 million deals, and they don't tell you like one of them actually earned my client $100 million. That's number one. Let's get to number two.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
5 to 4, 1 to 2. As I said in contracts, it's all funny numbers. The numbers don't really mean anything. That was number 5. Let's get to number 4. The Panthers signed Jaelen Phillips, or agreed to sign Jaelen Phillips, edge rusher, most recently with the Eagles. I think most of us remember him during his time with the Dolphins. Former number 1 or first round pick. Very, very twitchy edge rusher, generates a lot of pressures, comes from a Vic Fangio defense, which has a lot of similarities to Ejiro Evero's defense. It's a 4-year, $120 million deal with $80 million guaranteed. The Panthers wanted their guy, and they went and got him. The way I would put it is, I love the idea of Jaelen Phillips. I love the best version of Jaelen Phillips. for the Carolina Panthers. I do. I just love it. I don't know how much I think he's going to get there, right? And that's not a like, oh, his work ethic or, oh, his tape. No, it's very simply like the guy gets hurt a lot. And the most important ability is availability. So if he's active for like 80% of the games that he's on the Panthers, I think this contract will age pretty well. He's still young enough to where his athleticism, he shouldn't lose a step. Even with the injury, he shouldn't lose a step for at least a couple years. It's a big bet on his potential and his ability to stay healthy. I will be nervously watching how it goes for Carolina with the understanding going, and this is straight from somebody that replied to me on Twitter, you don't hit any home runs if you don't have at-bats. Like, you got to swing. My response was, do all at-bats cost $120 million? Maybe not, but edge rushers are never going to be cheap. Teams don't move on from them for nothing, so you got to make it work. Dennis, I don't know if we've gotten your thoughts on it. Jaelen Phillips, are you excited with the hire for the Carolina Panthers?
I love the fact that they went and attacked a position that they needed. They needed to upgrade there. They needed a true threat to go alongside Nick Scorton as an edge rusher. And you want to continue to obviously rotate in Pat Jones as well as Princely Umamielen. Let's be honest, this is an upgrade over DJ Wonnum by far. You got better as on paper with edge rusher by signing Phillips. On paper, you are better. Just my biggest question is the injury history. That's my biggest concern. Because the talent is there. You're not the 19th overall pick by accident.
This is another time where Dan Morgan in the front office, I think, did a good job of keeping us in the dark. Jaelen Phillips they were always kind of listed like 6th as like a team interested in Jaelen Phillips. There were others that they were linked to more. So I've not done a deep dive on his film or anything like that. I can't recall, though, from my casual watching of football, him being great stopping the run, which I don't hate. I think, you have guys that can stop the run, right? Like Derek Brown sometimes is a run stopper by himself. You need pass rush. You need pass rush. You need pass rush. You need pass rush. Scorton is a guy that I think will, especially as he ages and gets some, no offense to him, grown man strength because he's like 21 years old. I think he can be really good against the run and setting edges and things like that. I know Phillips has some versatile skill set as far as dropping into coverage, and he can work in space, and he can do some other things. I think I want to see what he can do just pinning his ears back and getting after the quarterback. Like, he hasn't had a double-digit sack season. He's had good pressure seasons and all that. I want to see if you just tell him, like, listen, I'm putting an incentive in your contract. Like, a boatload of money is waiting for you at 14 sacks. Just go get it. And I want to see how that works out because I think that's what this team is lacking most. I think their corners are really good. I think Trayvon Merrick's really good. I think they have some good guys in the secondary. If you tell them they only have to cover for like 3 seconds rather than 4.5, I think they could be even better. You want to run the ball, you want to play defense, you need some guys that can get you off the field on defense. 3rd downs, 2-minute drills, that's where somebody like Jaelen Phillips comes into play. And I said this earlier, but he comes from Vic Fangio. He's played for Vic Fangio a few times. Evero, the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, does have some Fangio elements in his game in that simulated pressures are what they try to do. They try to get your protection set incorrectly so they don't have to bring extra guys to take advantage of where your guys are not, meaning they try to make it look like you're bringing a blitz from the right or that your front four is on the right. And then they drop guys and actually the pressure's coming from the left, and they can do that with just 4. That's the most rudimentary, elementary explanation of it. But it's a way to gain more pressures than you're used to without having to blitz. Phillips does bring some of that versatile skill set that allows you to do those sort of fun things. That is number 4. Gonna get it right this time. How about number 3? All right. We have the ACC Men's Basketball Postseason Awards. Dennis, run through it for us.
Well, shocker, Duke swept pretty much everything. Your ACC Player of the Year and your Rookie of the Year is Cam Boozer.
Makes sense.
As expected. Your Defensive Player of the Year, as well as your Sixth Man of the Year in the ACC, Malik Brown. Also, your Coach of the Year, Jon Scheyer.
That one, I don't want to say it's a surprise, but traditionally the teams picked to win preseason. It's difficult to win Coach of the Year because usually Coach of the Year goes to the coach who's like, we completely misjudged your team and had him picked 11th and they finished 4th. Here you go. Or a new coach taking over someone else's mess and winning. But it's hard to argue with what Jon Scheyer's done and how dominant they were this year. So I think it's a deserving pick.
By the way, when it comes to voting, coaches cannot pick their own players when it comes to these polls or these end of the year awards and teams and such. So keep that in mind when it comes to voting, because believe it or not, Cam Boozer wasn't unanimous ACC Player of the Year because, again, you can't vote for your own guy. But Abuka Okori from Stanford got a vote, as well as, was it Thiz DeRitter?
Yep.
I can't remember. I always struggle pronouncing his first name. But DeRitter from Virginia also got a vote for Player of the Year in the conference. Everyone else voted for Cam Boozer, which makes perfect sense.
And you know what? I think Cam Boozer deserved to be a unanimous pick there, but those two guys are good.
Oh, they're fantastic.
So, maybe I'm playing both sides of the fence there and saying, like, he deserves to be unanimous, but also I kind of like that those guys got a vote.
By the way, it's the young guys that dominated all conference. This is the first team all ACC. Cam Boozer, expected. Caleb Wilson, North Carolina, first team all ACC.
Deserved.
Abuka Okori from Stanford, first team all ACC. Malik Renault from Miami. And then DeRitter from Virginia. 4 new guys. I mean, DeRitter's 23 years old, but he's technically a freshman. But anyway, 4 rookies. And by the way, the 4 of those guys were, of course, on the all-rookie team along with Michael Brown from Louisville's the all-rookie team. But basically, that is a lot of rookies taking over the first team.
That's a trend that tracks nationally as well.
Yes.
I imagine all-American teams are going to be built similarly with a lot of freshmen on them.
So Caleb Wilson, again, along with Cam Boozer, first team All-ACC. When it comes to second team All-ACC, Boopie Miller of SMU, formerly of Wake Forest, along with Juke Harris of Wake Forest. By the way, Juke Harris also named the ACC Most Improved Player, Juke Harris from Wake Forest, which truly is an honor, by the way.
That's huge. I don't know if it's most improved. It's most like he got more opportunity. Last year, Wake just had a bunch of super seniors, really good players. Juke played a role. Once they left, all that oxygen in the room, he put together a really, really impressive season for an underwhelming Wake team.
So Boopie Miller, SMU, Juke Harris, Wake Forest, Henry Vasard, North Carolina, as well as Trey Donaldson from Miami and Ryan Conwell from Louisville. That's your second team All-ACC. Third team All-ACC includes Isaiah Evans from Duke, Michael Brown Jr. from Louisville, Quadir Copeland from NC State, Robert McCray V from Florida State, and Day-Day Ames from Cal are your third team All-ACC. Some of the honorable mentions include Seth Trimble from North Carolina, Pat Gongba from Duke, Darian Williams from NC State, all made honorable mention ACC this year.
There you go.
So there you go. That's it.
I feel like I've said this occasionally.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. All defensive team.
Okay, go ahead.
All defensive team includes Malik Brown, obviously Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC, as well as Dame Sarr from Duke, also all ACC defensive team.
I'm sure if I stared at it, saw it in writing, really thought about it, there'd be a few things I'm like, nitpick. Seems like they got it pretty much right.
Yeah.
Not a bunch of huge kind of this guy got robbed in initial response. Again, if I look at it further, maybe I'll find a few things. But in my initial reaction was like, hey, good job, voters. I feel like we crush them when they get it wrong, so let's pass on some kudos when they do it right.
By the way, when it comes to determining points, when it comes to all ACC, you get 5 points for first team, 3 points for second team, 1 point for third team selection.
There you go.
So that's it. There you go. But yes, Cam Boozer, ACC Rookie of the Year as well as Player of the Year. Malik Brown, Duke, Defensive Player of the Year as well as Most Improved. Sixth Man of the Year. Jon Scheyer, Coach of the Year. Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson, part of the first team All-ACC. Henry Vasar, second team All-ACC. Quadir Copeland, part of third team All-ACC, as well as Isaiah Evans, third team All-ACC.
That one right there is number 3. Let's jump to number 2.
Just the two of us. We changed things up there with the breaking news. So
let's go to the Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, the Canes, yes.
Over the weekend, since our last show, they had 2 games.
Let's do that hockey.
There you go. 2 games. It was Friday late night at Edmonton. Saturday, the second half of a back-to-back late night at Calgary. They beat Edmonton 6-3. Then they lose to Calgary 5-4. Dennis, what's the Bussy response? We are now up to 4, I believe, of his last 7 games. He's allowed 4 or more goals. As we've talked about with goalies, there's always context, right? Was it a soft goal? Was it not? I don't know if, what category you put into, he kind of helped create the goal by mishandling the puck.
Did that a couple times.
I think it's now, I don't want to say fair to say, but some are saying since the Olympic break, he hasn't had quite the same spark. Is there any amount of concern for Brandon Bussy?
I don't know if there's a high level of concern, but I think it's actually there's a way you can spin this, I guess, for lack of a better term. You can use it as an opportunity to say, hey, there's a flaw in your game. We have a month to figure it out. We have a month to work on it to get ready for April. So struggle with it a little bit now. Figure it out. You're comfortable with your playoff spot. You're going to make the playoffs. No one's going to doubt that. But it allows you as a team, okay, let's figure out this flaw. We actually saw Brandon Bussy before practice today doing puck handling drills in and around the net and behind the net. That's okay. You know what your flaw is. Go work on it.
And like they did for Edmonton, if you can make him only face 16 shots, that would help out.
That does help too.
And against Edmonton, they got some guys that create some shots over there. And if you can stay out of power play situations, and especially 5-on-3s, and if you can, keep some rushes off his doorstep, there are ways you can help him out. But I've said this about goalies forever. Certain positions in sports, you need to have amnesia, right? The last bad play can't affect the next one, right? And similar to quarterbacks, pitchers, whatever, I do think there is usually a dip once the league gets a good look at you, right? You go out there, you start hot, then there's the dip, and if you adjust and you make up your ground and you fix the flaw or whatever it is, then you tell me you're going to be around for 10 years. And guess what the scouting report is now? You're never going to see guys hustling more than you're going to see them hustle when they see Brandon Bussy go around the back of the net to field the puck. When he leaves the crease to play the puck, you're going to see the other team pin their ears back and come flying up because they see the opportunity. So he has to actually be better at it than most goalies until they believe that he's solved that issue, right? That's how it works with new players. Oh, this quarterback leaves it inside on outbreaking routes. Well, guess what? They're going to jump every single route until you prove you fixed it. Oh, this pitcher, when he's ahead in the count, tends to leave one over, or he throws all of them in the dirt. No one's swinging at it until you prove you can do something else. Brandon Bussy started like a banshee, right? 25 wins in your first 29 starts. The league's starting to figure out the things that you might not do great. If you fix them, you'll be around for the next 15 years. But you got to go fix them. That's the hard part. That's number 2. How about number 1? Let's talk a little college basketball, shall we? We'll start with Duke beating Carolina over the weekend. Now, this was a game that, quite frankly, from a, if you remove the rivalry, stakes, not many. There weren't a lot of connected, if we win, this happens. If we lose, that happens. They were already locked into the tier of the ACC tournament that they were. For Duke, a win pretty much gives them the number 1 overall seed, but I don't think a loss would have precluded them from the number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. UNC, we know what they're dealing with. They're a team that had everything ahead of them as far as goals, and then Caleb Wilson in non-contact drills in practice broke his thumb, needed surgery, and they're now, I don't want to say playing with house money, but Like they have to be aware that they get to play like wild and free, because any win, any loss that they deal with is going to be under the background of Caleb Wilson didn't play. He's that good, by the way. Like, Caleb Wilson is that dude. Duke won. They won by a bundle. There was a 10-minute stretch in the second half where they absolutely dominated and took what was a close game into essentially a blowout. And that just shows kind of what Duke is capable of. The story for Duke, also injuries. Caleb Foster did not finish the game. He was on the bench in a walking boot by the end. Patrick Gungba also in a walking boot. Those two guys are important. They're not Cam Boozer, right? They're not the most important, but they are very important to the rotation of Duke. And whether they play or not in the ACC, in the NCAA tournament, I think actually sits over those whole tournaments. Like, I like, if you feel more comfortable betting on like Michigan to win a national championship or Arizona if Foster and Gungba are not playing. I think those guys, especially combined, matter that much. And also, it's worth mentioning a really good zinger from John Shire in the postgame. Did you hear him talk about Malik Brown?
I did.
I was in there. In Malik Brown's 2 years for Duke, he did not lose a game in Cameron. And Shire said, like, Malik's never lost a game in Cameron. Then he had to correct himself, except for when he was wearing another jersey.
Yeah.
Because he did lose in Cameron as a member of Syracuse, which is like a really good – that's just a good zing to his guy. He never lost as a member of Duke in Cameron, which, by the way, Malik Brown does feel very Duke senior-like for a guy that's only been there for 2 years and spent a good part of his career at Syracuse. But he earned his way. And we'll revisit some of those awards and everything that Dennis read to you earlier in the starting five later in the show, see if we can't get further into those reactions. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. At this point, we need some numbers game contestants. And the prize for today, I lied. On Friday, I said Friday was your last chance to win Hank Jr. tickets. But I'm giving you one more chance. If you want to win tickets to see Hank Williams Jr. at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Saturday, June 20th, you got to win the numbers game. So call in now. We need 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game and potentially win a pair of tickets to see Hank Williams Jr. Again, the number, 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
The Pack Therapy Podcast is in session. Tim Donnelly here, host of The Drive, alongside Max Gorin.
Every episode is your chance to score inside information on the Pack.
We'll set you up for Wolfpack basketball all season long.
And we break down the ACC competition, what to watch for as we roll towards the tournament madness.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No. We'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. As always, we bring two contestants onto the show. They battle it out in jersey number trivia. And one of them will win an awesome prize. For today, that means a pair of tickets to see Hank Williams Jr. when he comes to the area in June. Our contestants are Tyler in Durham and Brody in Youngsville. We'll bring them each onto the show, ask them the exact same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. Let's start with Tyler in Durham. Tyler, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, the question for today, it's Monday, which means we just finished up a weekend. What was the highlight of your weekend? But because we are a sports show, make sure it is sports related.
The UNC Duke games didn't go the way I wanted, but UNC showed some good fight for a while there.
All right. Dennis, any follow-ups? Nope, we are good to go. We'll go to Brody in Youngsville. Brody, can you hear me?
Yep, what's going on?
Not much. Same question to you. It is a Monday. We just rounded out a weekend. What is the highlight of the weekend that just passed for you? But because we're a sports show, make sure we keep it sports related.
Hey, Tim, I'm a soccer referee, so I went out and reffed a few soccer games this weekend. It was nice out.
All right. Soccer reffing. Dennis, any follow-ups?
None.
All right. In that case, you are locked in with soccer refereeing. Dennis, are you rolling with Tyler, who liked the fight UNC showed in their loss to Duke, or Brody, who rolled with he is a soccer ref and he did some reffing?
This is actually a tough one. I respect the fact that when your team gets blown out, that you're still like, you know what? I still enjoyed it, or still, they'll still highlight on my weekend. I respect it. But youth soccer officials take so much darn crap. Just youth officials in general, youth refs, umpires, they take so much crap. I got to go with Brody on this one. The fact that he still stands in there and he takes it.
I like it. I agree. Gosh, like a Little League umpire, they just get absolutely blasted.
As someone who used to do it, trust me, the things that I've heard, I'm like, your kid's 9.
That's unreal. With that being said, so Brody gets to win, right? Or gets to go first. Brody, are you ready to pick a category?
Yep.
All right. We have 3 categories for you to choose from today. They are NFL, Panthers throughout history, NFL, Y, like the letter Y is in their first name somewhere, or NHL, Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's do the NHL Hurricanes.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. And with that being said, you will start when you can hear the horn. Jordan Stahl, Carolina Hurricanes.
11.
Correct. Eric Stahl, Carolina Hurricanes.
12.
Correct. Jeff Skinner, Carolina Hurricanes.
53.
Correct. Tony D'Angelo, Carolina Hurricanes.
44.
Incorrect. Warren Fogle, Carolina Hurricanes.
13.
Incorrect. Tony D'Angelo, Carolina Hurricanes.
77.
Correct. Warren Fogle, Carolina Hurricanes.
17.
Incorrect. Warren Fogle, Carolina Hurricanes.
73.
Incorrect. Warren Fogle, Carolina Hurricanes. Do you want to guess one more just to see, just for funsies?
Oh, it's right there. I've seen him play. 18.
Incorrect. You said 73 as your last guess before the buzzer. We needed 37. We needed you to flip them. But you did get 4 out of 5. That is a solid number. Good start to the week. Go ahead and stay on the line. We'll see if that holds up. And that brings us to Tyler and Durham. Tyler, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, Panthers throughout history, or NFL, Y is somewhere in their first name. The letter Y is somewhere in their first name.
NFL-Y.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You do need all 5 for the win, so go as fast as you can. But you have the entire 30 seconds to do it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Troy Aikman, Dallas Cowboys.
8.
Correct. Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders.
5.
Correct. Yannick Ngakoue, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Pass.
Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans.
5.
Incorrect. Bryant Young, San Francisco 49ers.
97.
Correct. Yannick Ngakoue, Jacksonville Jaguars.
93.
Incorrect. Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans.
8.
Incorrect. You were making progress. Unfortunately, though, not enough for the win. For those of you playing at home, Ngakoue, 91. Pollard, 20. But hopefully you had some fun, Tyler.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brian Young's a good pull there.
That was a real good pull.
Not
He
sure
was close on Ngakoue, too.
I'm not sure I would have gotten that one. But Brody in Youngsville got plenty for the win. Congratulations, Brody.
Thank you, guys. Shout out Dennis for shouting out my fellow referees. Thank you, guys.
There you go. Hank Williams Jr. tickets coming your way. Go ahead and stay on the line, and Dennis will make sure you get your prize. There you go.
There really is a shortage on finding youth refs and youth officials and stuff, just because even high school, because they deal with so much crap from parents and stuff, or even coaches who are also usually parents. But it's like, no, like your kid's 9.
And
this ain't the World Series.
You want to keep youth sports affordable for everybody, and because of that, you can't pay refs too much, or else the entry fees would be astronomical. So you're really out there for a low hourly rate or a per game rate, just trying to let the kids have some fun, right? Nobody wants to see 75 consecutive walks. Call a strike, make the kids swing the bat, whether it's the perfect call or not. And that's me talking as an adult. I'm sure as a 9-year-old, I was mad. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, but referees, seriously. Referees, organizers, everything. Youth sports are awesome, and I'm a big fan. Earlier today, the NFL free agency did kind of open up. I'm looking for positions of note for some of you, ones that we maybe haven't told you. Travis Kelce will be returning to the Kansas City Chiefs on a 1-year, $12 million deal. That one, I think it was Chiefs or retirement, but he's coming back. Malik Willis going to the Miami Dolphins, so they're going to really shake things up. Tua Tagovailoa going from the Dolphins to the Falcons on a 1-year deal. Just looking around the league at the bigger deals. Obviously, Jaelen Phillips getting a gigantic deal from the Panthers. I believe it is still the largest deal agreed by any free agent this year. 4 years, $120 million, $80 million guaranteed. Odafe Owe, another edge rusher, goes to the Commanders. 4 years, $100 million deal there. 68 of it guaranteed. As we continue to make ways through all of the big deals, they're really, to be completely honest, a lot of corners got paid. Nothing crazy. Running backs, obviously a very active position. Kenneth Walker, fresh off a Super Bowl MVP, got big money to go to the Chiefs, so potentially they want to run more. At least they want some more spark out of their running game. Travis Etienne going from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Saints. Tyler Algier leaving the Falcons. He's on the Cardinals now. J.K. Dobbins signed back with the Broncos. There's a lot of movements. You can go find one of those free agent trackers and read all of them, depending on what positions you're interested in. Off-ball backer, the dominoes have started to fall. Dennis, you brought up somebody signed with the Bears, right?
Devin Bush.
3
years, $30 million deal, $21 million guaranteed. Devin Bush.
Tremaine Edmonds, another off-ball backer who, ironically, I believe was just cut by the Bears.
He was.
Has signed with the Giants, 3 years, $36 million, $23.7 million guaranteed. So some of those dominoes have started to fall. There's still a lot of dominoes left in off-ball linebackers. It's a really good year to need one of those. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the quick breakdown there. We'll get to the ACC regular season awards. Men's basketball, they updated. They've announced just earlier this hour. We'll keep you fresh on them coming up next. But first, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers. I need you to do something for me. If you haven't done it already, I need you to do it today. I need you to go to caniacsbike.com. I need you to register for this beautiful custom Canes Ducati motorcycle that you can win. Because the Law Tigers, they're once again teaming up with your Carolina Hurricanes to give one lucky Caniac a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle. It's courtesy of Art Moto Garage and Shiny Side Paint. It's an absolutely fantastic motorcycle. I've seen it in person. It's amazing. If you go to caniacsbike.com, you'll see pictures of the bike right there. If you want to see the bike in person, just swing on over by Art Moto Garage. You see for the bike in person yourself. Beautifully painted custom V4 Ducati motorcycle. No detail missed on this bike. I'm talking the Canes logos, the detail, the shadowing, and the paint. It's just absolutely fantastic. I guarantee you're going to see the bike and fall in love with it. Go to caniacsbike.com, enter for your chance to win. And when you do win, hit me up. We'll go for a ride for sure. Go to caniacsbike.com, enter for your chance to win. Bike will be given away April 4th, live on the ice at the game, and it includes tickets into a catered suite as well. I mean, the catered suite is also, that's pretty awesome in and of itself. Imagine also having a motorcycle to go with it. Go to caniacsbike.com. Deadline to enter March 29th, so do not wait. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with ACC end-of-season men's basketball awards. Stick around.
This is Ray Womble Jr. from J.E. Womble & Sons in Lillington. Spring is almost here and grass cutting will be in full force. Bobcat zero-turn mowers will make your lawn maintenance so much easier. We're offering up to a $1,250 instant rebate and 0% financing on select Bobcat mowers. Now's the time to upgrade to a brand new Bobcat that brings tough to turf. And remember, if J.E. Womble & Sons doesn't have it, you don't need it.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
This is the sound of Jack buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. If you are serious about the weight loss journey, you have to give Raleigh Weight Loss Center a call. 919-897-7506 or swing by RaleighWeightLossCenter.com and set up a free 15-minute phone call. Here's the thing about Raleigh Weight Loss Center, and I was part of the program. I can speak from this firsthand. No shots, no injections, no drugs, no steroids, none of the nasty side effects. Just restarting your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing. They've helped thousands of people lose anywhere between 10 to 20% of their body weight. I lost 15% of my body weight, more than 15% of my body weight, over 40 pounds, thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Again, give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up that free 15-minute phone call. I'm living, breathing, walking proof that the plan can work. First 50 callers get a $100 discount. 919-897-7506. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Shout out to some eagle-eared, is that a term?
Yeah.
Eagle-eared listeners out there that quickly amended a mistake on our part.
Yes.
Jake, Dave,
mistake on
others.
my part.
Yeah, but
I'm owning this.
I mean, I knew that he played when Andrei Svechnikov was here. So 37 was a mistake I should have caught. But we did during numbers game. Warren Fogle, we know that he wears 13, which was a guess that the contestant gave. So that's a perfect score for the contestant.
That's right. Brody gets perfect 5 for 5. So Warren Fogle wore 37 He also wore 13.
There you go.
So I accidentally only entered in on the sheet that Tim has for the numbers game. I only entered in the 37. I forgot to enter in the 13. That's on me. And Brody did say 13 during that 30-second stretch there. So, Brody, congratulations. Perfect 5 for 5. That's on me.
It doesn't happen as often as I would expect it. Both Dennis and Paul and a few others behind the scenes that put together the list do a pretty good job of there's a lot of copy and pasting, a lot of numbers, a lot of history that they have to go through to make the numbers game. I will admit, very much Ron Burgundy-like in those high-pressure moments. Like they could write anything and I would read it. So we do our best, but when we do have mistakes, I love that our listeners are listening close enough to write in and make sure that their fellow listener is given their just due. So, Brody, perfect score. It's been a while since we had one, so congrats.
So, Fogel wore it before Svet showed up.
Which, by the way, is usually like getting somebody that wore 20 in like the 90s is usually a good one for getting people because they can't imagine anyone but Sebastian Aho wearing 20 when it's like, well, before Aho was around, that number wasn't like hollowed by any stretch. Yeah. So catching players that wore numbers that we associate with other players sometimes is a good trick. But it's just when they actually wore it and then wore a different number, we got to be on top of that as well. And we will be in the future. With that being said,
that's on me.
Thank you to everybody out there for listening, and we'll do our best to get better and have less of those mistakes in the future. But now, let's hear who won the awards in ACC men's basketball to round out the season. Dennis, because you did such a good job during the starting five, why don't you go ahead and kind of one by one, and I'll react to who earned the trophies.
Unsurprisingly, the ACC Player of the Year, as well as the Rookie of the Year, goes to Cam Boozer of Duke. The Sixth Man of the Year, as well as the Defensive Player of the Year, goes to Malik Brown of Duke. The Coach of the Year goes to John Shire of Duke. So, Duke just pretty much swept everything. Most improved player in the ACC, though, does go to Juke Harris of Wake Forest.
First of all, we'll start with Juke Harris since you just brought him up. He's really good.
He's fantastic.
And most improved feels like a really good way to get a guy acknowledged who is on a team that had a down year. So most improved for Juke Harris is great, and we'll see where his career goes from here. You scored 20-something points in the ACC. The everything is on the table, right?
He was second team All ACC as well.
Returning, transfer portal, NBA, like everything is on the table for a guy once you put that season together in the ACC. With that being said, Duke sweeping the awards is appropriate. They were head and shoulders production-wise above everybody in the ACC. And the teams that hung close with them over the last couple of games, they showed the distance, right? Virginia hung close for most of the season. They destroyed them most recently. UNC hung close. And then, obviously, this most recent game, after UNC beat them earlier on, they kind of got their revenge. So, the chances are John Shire's not going to get many of these things, just like Coach K didn't get many of these things. And the all-time great coaches don't win Coach of the Year very often because the expectations for them are so high that it's almost like, you have to fail to lower expectations to win these awards. But is definitely deserved for Shire this year. They had 5 players get drafted and from a results standpoint, got better year over year. So it's pretty good. All of those awards are justified. I was going to say, who from some of the other local teams got acknowledged?
So first team All ACC included Cam Boozer, also Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson's second most votes in points for voting for All Conference. So Cam Boozer 1, Caleb Wilson 2, Abuka Okore from Stanford was third in voting, so he's first team All ACC. Malik Reyno as well as Thiz DeRitter from Virginia. Those 5 guys are your ACC first team. Second team All ACC includes Boopy Miller, formerly of Wake Forest, now at SMU. The aforementioned Juke Harris of Wake Forest. Henry Vasar, second team All ACC. Trey Donaldson of Miami and Ryan Conwell, Louisville, round out your second team All ACC. And other names of note here on third team All ACC, Isaiah Evans from Duke, as well as Quadir Copeland of NC State, third team All ACC. And then local guys on the honorable mention includes Seth Tremble of North Carolina, Pat Gongba II of Duke, as well as Darian Williams of NC State. Those 3 guys all made honorable mention All ACC.
Congratulations to all. This year's ACC team, I've been talking about how much better they are. There's been some crashing on the bubble teams as of late, so perhaps the final numbers and everything won't be as impressive. I think the ACC was significantly up based on the last few years, to the point where a second teamer this year, if they played 2 years ago, may have been a first teamer.
Very true.
Third teamer this year may have been a second teamer in the last couple years. The play was just up.
Also, the all-defensive team, I skipped this one, my apologies. All-defensive team include Malik Brown of Duke as well as Dame Sarr of Duke, all-defensive team.
That tracks. Both of those guys are really good at what they do. Malik Brown is going to have a fascinating legacy at Duke. I think he's going to be remembered for a while. And also against Carolina, he started all the scoring. He was the guy getting going early, scoring the basketball, as if he just wanted to let everybody know, I know I'm all defense, but I can do other things. I'll wait to show you until the last game I play in this building, which, sometimes you do. The other big news of the day, NFL free agency going on. Obviously, Jaelen Phillips, the big name for the Carolina Panthers, 4 years, $120 million, $80 guaranteed, edge rusher, position of need, a guy that apparently Dan Morgan absolutely loved because you don't make that kind of investment right at the beginning of free agency if you don't. But we're starting to see, as kind of a separate deal here, off-ball backers are starting to get paid a little bit. Bobby Okereke did just sign 3 years, $45 million with the Titans, I believe. Let me make sure I got that right. He's another off-ball backer. He's 100, well over 100-plus tackles per year guy. Signed with the Titans, correct, from the Giants. Third highest-paid linebacker in the NFL now. There's still a lot of options there, but dominoes are starting to fall. Tremaine Edmonds, Devin Bush, Okereke, Devin Lloyd's still out there, and obviously a very strong draft of freak athletes at the off-ball backer position still available. But that is a position where I think the Panthers need to improve. Perhaps they spent a ton of money on an edge rusher because they knew they were going to go more cost-effective at other positions and try to tackle those in the draft. Or they're waiting out somebody else. Devin Lloyd could be it, and they're preparing for another big contract. But strong position this offseason, and through almost 6 hours of free agent legal tampering period, an interesting amount of players have been signed, especially because you look at and honestly the Panthers are like this as well. When you go from Mills to Morgan to Beeson to Kuechly, that's a really strong middle linebacker kind of run. And obviously Shaq Thompson, they've been chasing that a little bit since. John Harbaugh, who signed Tremaine Edmonds to a big deal, he's a guy that goes – he invests heavily, right? Whether it's Ray Lewis, first-round pick, Roquan Smith most recently. There's another one there in the middle that I'm missing that they drafted in the first round. Certain coaches just believe in having a middle linebacker that is hey, pay what you got to pay. We got to get a dude. I'm wondering if the Panthers don't eventually become that because Dan Morgan is one of them, right? He's one of those guys. Or perhaps he feels like he doesn't have to invest the most because he's like, I know where to find him. I don't have to pay as much as everybody else because I can identify the dudes for cheap. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Dennis, has anything else happened with the Panthers beyond the Jaelen Phillips signing today that stuck out to you? I know a Caleb Evans they're bringing back.
Yeah, a couple of just depth guys like a Caleb Evans, Ricard Rochelle. Those guys are coming back as backup defensive backs, special teams players. I mean, that's really it. Cade Mays, their starting center, did sign with the Detroit Lions. He got just over $8 million a year over a 3-year contract, which, by the way, good on him. Good on him. Carolina wasn't going to pay him that. So Carolina now needs a new starting center.
The center market's a weird one, as we talked about. Some guys are getting paid astronomically, and some guys are getting cut because it seems like their team is saying, we'll find a guy. I don't think the Panthers are in necessarily either of that camp. I think they couldn't afford Cade Mays based on the player and how much he went in the open market. But I don't think they're just assuming they'll find a guy either. That offensive line needs to be a strength. Needs to be a strength. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. More news will come about, and we will talk about it tomorrow. Later today, 6:45, SoCon Men's Basketball Championship, Furman, East Tennessee State, right here on 99.9 The Fan. But before that, Overdrive. Enjoy it. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Hey, it's Adam Golden. As the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance, that's right, 8 in a row. That's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we